Too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Davis with 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
And we have made it down to the SEC tournament live in Tampa, Florida. I'm looking at Amalie Arena right now, and I am excited to get this tournament underway. You heard the highlight of Chattanooga and Furman as John Batiste hit a game-winning 3 last night. Chattanooga's down by 2, and he ends up hitting that shot. Getting you ready for March Madness. We got tournaments all week. We know the SEC tournament kicks off tomorrow. Several other conference tournaments that will decide what team is automatically elevated to March Madness. Clay Henry's going to be joining us at 7 o'clock, the publisher of Hawks Illustrated, Whole Hog Sports, get his thoughts on the game against Tennessee, the baseball series, football coming up. We've got a lot of football news for you this morning, including 2 commits yesterday, one in the class of 2022 at transfer. And then also, you got a guy in the class of 2023 that you should be excited about as well. It's always good to have some football news, Tommy, during basketball season. You definitely got some good news yesterday.
Yeah, you got Pro Day coming up. You got those 2 commits. I saw where Arkansas, and it's very early. I mean, like extremely early to be thinking about class rankings, but Arkansas near the top or at the top of some 23 rankings. I don't think that carries a lot of weight, but you're there right now. So, yeah, there is some football news as we head into it's not the biggest basketball week still ahead of us, but it's a
those are pretty rock solid to me, in my opinion.
All right, the madness is already underway. We are live in Tampa getting ready for the SEC tournament, which officially kicks off tomorrow. It's all brought to you by Crane Hyundai, Crane Kia, and Crane Volkswagen. Aim for the net and score big with the Crane team in Fayetteville. Also by WT Equipment in Springdale. See more and do more with a New Holland 300 Series compact track loader from New Holland. Visit them online at WTEquip.com. Also by Twin Peaks in Rogers. Head over to TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com. Get registered and learn more. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and scenic views. We're going to have plenty of coverage all week long in Tampa, and stay tuned for pre- and post-game shows. We'll be on the air Friday before and after the game to get you set and to recap the Razorbacks' first game in the SEC tournament. We're also brought to you by The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fencing or gating projects at your home or business. Right now, they're looking for quality people to join their team at The Fence Man. They have a $500 sign-on bonus. You can join the top fence building team right now and get top pay, great benefits, and more. Apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. That's 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
The Must Bus is on the road, and so are we. Our live coverage at the SEC Tournament in Tampa is brought to you by Crane Automotive in Fayetteville, WT Equipment in Springdale, and Twin Peaks in Rogers.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of experiences with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry. Give her a call at 494-7600. They'll take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today. 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
It's spring sell time at Jelco Outdoors this Friday and Saturday. Get ready for spring fishing and turkey season. Check out the new gear for spring 2022. Register for guided bass, crappie, and catfish fishing trips. Jelco is open 9 to 6 on Friday and 9 to 5 on Saturday. Get into the swing of spring at Jelco Outdoors this weekend. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
JD, top of the circle, gets a screen from Johnson, away to Amude. Stanley for three, and he bombs in another one.
Did you miss a segment or interview during the show? Find it in the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, we're live in downtown Tampa within an earshot of Amalie Arena, getting ready for the SEC tournament, which tips off tomorrow. Arkansas plays on Friday. We're going to have all your coverage right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Got to switch gears a little bit and talk some football in just a sec. But first, I want to tell you about Razorback camper sales, because spring camping season, it's almost here, and they all have a huge selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, and pop-ups. They also offer full prep and setup at no extra cost, so you can leave the lot and start camping immediately. You'll have access to the best parts and service department in the state, and they're the oldest family-owned RV dealer in Arkansas. They've been doing it for over 50 years. Check them out online at RazorbackCampersales.com or in Hot Springs. So, Tommy, two commits yesterday. Carson Dean, who's in the class of 2023 out of Carrollton, Texas, plays edge in kind of that hybrid linebacker role. And then Jordan Dominic, who is in the class of 2022, a transfer from Georgia Tech. So you got a transfer that's eligible to play immediately, and another recruit in the number 1 rated class in the SEC currently, the number 3 in the country, your class of 2023.
So a 3-star out of Texas, and then Jordan Dominic was a 3-star player out of high school as well. But both edge rushers, both on that defensive line, and you know, everyone's talked. It's not new news that you need help on that defensive front, because that's where your depth concerns really are going into spring practice.
You need to keep stockpiling and getting better in that area, and that's the biggest concern I had with this football team this year. And not to say that they can't get better, and I don't know what Barry Odom is going to do with that position group, if he's going to keep sticking with 3 down linemen, if he's going to go to 4. But they have to get pressure on the quarterback. That has to be a thing. You got no Trey Williams this year. Markel Utsy's gone. John Ridgway is gone. So you've got to find some guys that can get to the likes of some talented quarterbacks that you got to go against this year. Let's just roll through this list. No Malik Willis of Liberty. He's going to get drafted in the NFL this year. But game 1, no Desmond Ridder. I don't know who Cincy's quarterback's going to be. But, Tommy, you got to play Spencer Rattler. Mm-hmm. You got to play Bryce Young. Mm-hmm. You got to play Jaden Daniels likely, because he just transferred in from Arizona State. You got to play Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, who transferred in from USC. There's some talented quarterbacks on this upcoming list. No more talented than Bryce Young, the last year's Heisman Trophy winner. So if you're not getting pressure on those dudes, which we saw Bryce rip you to shreds last year in Tuscaloosa, it's going to be a long season for that defense.
I mean, and Bryce Young ripped a lot of people to shreds on his way to the Heisman Trophy. But if you can't put pressure on the opposing quarterback and get to them and hit them in this league, you're going to be a 6, 7, 8 win team, at best. So it's paramount that you're able to flush the quarterback, that they're able to make him uncomfortable. So, are these two guys going to be the key to that? I don't know, but you got 2 more guys that you can add to your depth, and we'll just see what kind of players they can turn out to be. So,
yeah,
not likely that a guy like Carson Dean can come in as a true freshman and contribute. But hey, we've seen things before up there. So
yeah, and he won't be. And
here he's a 23 guy. Yeah,
correct. So. Yeah, he won't be here till next year, so you won't even get to see him on the field this year in an Arkansas uniform. But you gotta. I think he's your second Texas kid, if I remember that right. So you want to keep getting those Texas kids if you can. Arkansas's done a pretty good job in the transfer portal. When it comes to they picked up some high-profile guys. Now, if you look at the SEC, LSU and Brian Kelly have been after it in the portal, and the Jaden Daniels edition this past week is the latest one that you've seen. So he's done a good job, and I want to see what those pieces mesh. If you remember, Mel Tucker, I want to say, brought 20-something transfers over into East Lansing from Michigan State, and they had a really great season this last year. So if Arkansas can develop and have the talent on campus, which I think they're capable of doing based on what we saw last season, and add some high-profile, coveted SEC transfers like they did, then I think they're going to have success this year if these guys pan out.
All right, straighten me up on the math. Obviously, we're talking about Carson Dean. He's in the 23 class. Jordan Dominic counts towards 22, so that leaves you with one spot. Am I right on that for the 22 class?
But remember we asked Richard that question last week or 2 weeks ago, and I asked him, it's 2, right? He's like, yeah, but it's not a solid 2. The coaches can kind of makeshift and turn stuff around. There's that blue shirt and gray shirt. There's different intricacies within recruiting and scholarships that I'm not as aware of and don't understand as much, and Richard's the better one to probably adjust that. But one is the number that I think that is the correct one, but it's interchangeable and it's moving. It's a moving target of sorts, is how it was posed to me by Richard last week.
And I'm with you. Figuring out what they count forward, count back, all of these things in your signing class. But I believe the number is they're at 84 of their 85 scholarship limit, which they could save for a walk-on. They wanted to award. They could do some things with that. So I think that's what the math says is they've got one more scholarship to award to somebody somewhere within this program. So. Maybe one more commit coming for 22, or they could elevate a walk-on to scholarship status, I guess.
This gets me excited. I know we got some football news to look forward to. Tomorrow's Arkansas's Pro Day. Sam Pittman is speaking on Thursday about Razorback practice. So there's some things that you have to look forward to in football season. I know we're 179 days out till September the 3rd, Tommy, which is when Arkansas will host the Cincinnati Bearcats, and that seems like a lifetime away, but it's going to be here before you know it, especially with spring practice just around the corner. You're going to be surprised how much football content is. I say you're going to be surprised. Not you, but our audience. You're going to be surprised how much football content we start having once practice kicks off.
Well, we got Pro Day tomorrow. There's I know we're going to get to that later in the show, but there's more football that's going to kind of make some highlights and some headlines this week. And I know a lot of people will be looking at Traylon Burks and can he improve on that 40 time at Arkansas's Pro Day. And there's a good list of Razorback athletes that will go through Pro Day tomorrow morning.
And they're guys that the main one that everyone's going to be interested in is going to be Traylon Burks, and you were speaking to before the show if he can improve his 40. And 4.5 is not a bad 40 time, but I think there were some
especially
people
225. So.
Yeah, but there were some people that expected him to be in the 4.4 something range, and if he can do that I think is going to elevate him. He just has so many things. You know how we sometimes say, well, that guy has so many things working against him. Traylon has so many things working for him just with his body type, his hand size, his on-the-field accolades that he had last year. He is going to have a lot of NFL GMs taking a hard look if he's the number one wide receiver in this upcoming NFL draft. And there's some talent. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Trent London. You got Jahan Dotson. You got guys all over the place that have played in different leagues. But don't be surprised this upcoming NFL draft if Traylon is in the top 3 wide receivers selected.
All right, so we'll get to a little bit more Pro Day later on in the show. Coming up tomorrow at 7:20, Brett Good's going to join us. He's with us every Wednesday. We'll talk some Pro Day and some other things coming up tomorrow around the Razorback program. He's a former Razorback and Green Bay Packer. He's now part of the winning team at Henderson Phillips. If you need help with your employee benefits, whether it's group life, group health benefits, or the complete package of vision, dental, and all of those things, he can help you with that, plus retirement plans and your property and casualty insurance as well. Even your personal homeowners, your personal life insurance, your auto insurance, all of those things things that Brett can focus on and help you save some money, too. 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292 for Brett Good with Henderson Phillips.
When we come back, I think I figured out where Arkansas is going to play in the NCAA tournament. Narrowed it down to 3 cities. We'll talk about that. Also got some headlines to get into as well, including some awards for Jalen Williams and J.D. Note.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your...
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Really happy to announce that Manscaped is now supporting the Hit That Line podcast network. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and they're offering you the new Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle Performance Package. Join over 4 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Just enter the code HTL at manscaped.com. Again, that's HTL at manscaped.com. I think if my math's right, that's 8 million balls. Inside this package, you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Provider toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. The Boxers and Shed travel bag are a free addition, and they bring it to another level. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HTL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code HTL. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Note crosses his man over, hits Tony underneath, lays it up and in.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
We are live from Tampa, Florida this morning. They're looking directly at Amalie Arena, getting ready for this SEC tournament, which tips off tomorrow. Getting really excited about that. I do have an important question to ask Tommy coming up that I think he'll have a definite opinion on. But I also want to talk about where I think the Arkansas Razorbacks are going to wind up in the NCAA tournament. I was just looking at the bracket last night, basically just playing the odds, and I think I have a pretty good idea, and I'll tell you in just a sec.
We all know Ty is in Tampa. He's going to find all the good places to eat. And if you follow him on Twitter, you're going to get food pictures. We've already seen pictures of wings, but I promise you he's not going to find barbecue better than what you'll find at Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers Avenue. Now, they've added some things to the menu. You might find some pretty good tilapia down there and some salmon and some other nice fish entrees. I don't think you'll be eating those things, but you could probably not have to search too far to find, blackened or grilled tilapia. They've added that to the menu at Art's Barbecue. Now, I don't know if you can find good fried catfish. On Friday, you can go out after the game Friday evening. The all-you-can-eat catfish special is good on Friday at Art's Barbecue, but they've added some fish items to the menu this time of the year. If you want blackened or grilled tilapia, they have that. And, of course, the catfish is always there for you on Fridays as well at Art's Barbecue. It's Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's. You can call 452-2550. They'll have it ready in the drive-up window. If we get some weather this weekend, it's colder and it's a little – this winter hanging on here by a death grip at the end of at the beginning of March, at the end of winter, you can get by and go through that drive-up window and pick up your order and take it home with you. That's 452-2550 for Art's Barbecue. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith. How were those wings last night? I saw you displaying on your Twitter feed.
Well, that was the question I was going to redirect at you, Drew, and our audience this morning. There were some listeners that were critical of my selection being out on the wharf that I didn't get seafood. I thought the wings, I've actually sampled a few of them this morning. I didn't finish them last night, so I got a few of them this morning. Is that a bad first meal in Tampa, Florida, right next to the water, that I decided to go with chicken wings and fries?
You could do better. You could do better than chicken wings, which you can get basically anywhere, anytime, any place. So unless they were like wings that were famous or is a famous local joint for wings, I'd say you could have made a better selection than wings, don't you think, Drew?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, not to say
it's a
that
rookie.
wings,
it's a rookie
great.
move. It's a move you'd expect from someone wearing open-toed shoes to work.
I mean, if somebody's wearing Chacos right now,
right? I mean,
would expect that. But normally when people go out of town, they go to places that they can only go there. You can get wings back here in the River Valley.
Right.
You can't
good
get,
ones.
Just legitimate that
fresh seafood,
fish.
from the ocean to the table in the same day. That's not available here.
It's not farm to table. It's ocean to table.
It's ocean to table, yes.
Just to be clear, I'm not wearing shoes. I'm not wearing pants either, so I just want to be abundantly
glad you're not
clear
on camera
that.
this morning. So.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. So I think I want to
almost said that makes three of us, but that would be weird.
I want to do the show out on the balcony at some point. He's got a hammock out here, guys. I might sleep there tonight. Probably not going to sleep there after the SEC tournament, but I think I'm going to sleep outside.
Have you ever slept in a hammock before?
Once. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm not real confident you can get in and out of the hammock without injuring yourself. So that's
Is it that bad?
Well, I mean, it takes a little athleticism. That's what I'm concerned about. So
it is next to the balcony.
Yeah, I don't know about you in a hammock, particularly if you've. Of course, we all know that Ty does not consume alcohol during the week, so maybe he'd be okay because it won't be a problem. But
you never have to worry about me during the week. It's just on the weekends.
You in a hammock, I just see it as fraught with potential disaster.
Concern. Okay.
Real quick, we've already been corrected this morning from Gary in Tampa who's listening and says that it's Amalie Arena.
Amalie, not Amalie.
Yeah,
Amalie
Arena.
I'm glad you're listening in Tampa.
Amalie. Thank you.
Does anyone know what Amalie is?
No idea.
Someone Google that for me.
What kind of sponsor do they have of their arena? It's not the cryptocurrency Los Angeles Lakers arena. That was longtime Staples Center. I'll always call it the Staples Center. Just so.
I mean, I hear AT&T Cowboy Stadium. I know what we got here. You know, even that new one for in Kansas City at Arrowhead. What kind of company is that? So some of these new stadium names, I don't know if the prices come down or just everyone's got more money to sponsor things like this. But Amalie Arena, I'm not familiar with their.
It's an oil company.
Oh, well, there you go. Oil,
headquartered in Tampa.
Oil's about $900 a barrel right now, so they can probably afford it. Yeah.
You tell Drew, you tell Gary that if he wants to meet me out for a beer or a dinner, it's on Tommy Kraft.
He doesn't.
It's on Tommy.
He doesn't want to meet
Gary
you.
calls back, I'll let him know.
Yeah, he's already called. He's already texted. No, he doesn't want to meet you.
Let him do that. It's on Tommy. Anyone that is down here in Tampa that wants free food or alcohol, it's on Tommy. Just know that. Just hit me up and we'll make sure that happens.
Absolutely.
I wanna get to Zeb Jasper's comments that he had. Zach Blackerby, who does stuff with the Auburn Network and also hosts the Locked On Auburn podcast, he had him on his show, and I was surprised to see Zeb as authoritative as he was talking about Arkansas, which I love because content is keen around here, and he definitely gave us some this morning that we'll react to with Clay, and then we'll do it sometime in this hour as well. But first, I was going through the bracketology, guys, and I think y'all tell me if I'm wrong on this. You two, as well as most of our audience, are pretty confident, barring something crazy, that Arkansas is going to wind up a 4 or 5 seed, correct?
I'm not even sure. I think other things need to happen for you to even get maybe to the 3 line. But I don't know. They're number 16 right now, I think, in Lenardi's projections I saw this morning. Is that right? Mm-hmm. So the 16 overall seed. So I think some things have to happen for them to move. I think 4 and 5 are the most likely seeds, yes.
So that being said, I looked at all the 4 and 5 seeds that are potentials. 2 are in Buffalo, one's in Milwaukee, and one's in Portland. So there's 3 cities, basically. And, again, there's stuff that could happen. Maybe they win the SEC tournament, move up to a 3. I just can't see them even if they lose on Friday to LSU or whoever, I can't see them dropping past a 5 seed. So it's
but can you see them leapfrogging 3 other teams to get to a 3? And that's where I'm at. They'd have to. They're the last of the 4 seeds. So I think 4 or 5 is kind of where you're sewn in at this point.
And that's where I'm at. So I was just looking at flights and looking at different things. Tommy, I mean, Milwaukee is about 10.5 hours away from Fayetteville. I didn't even Google how far Portland and Buffalo, but you're not exactly playing close to home if you wind up in one of those destinations where, as it stands right now, it looks like that's where we're going to end up. If I had to choose, it has to be Milwaukee, because the good thing about Milwaukee, Tommy, is you feed in, if you get past let's say you're a 4 seed, you get past the 13th seed, and then you get past the 5 seed, you then play in Chicago, which the great thing about Chicago is X&A and Little Rock both have direct flights to Chicago.
Yeah, so right now with, the way things are at the gas pump, and, man, I don't know about your Twitter feed, but mine was loaded up with pictures of people paying for gas yesterday. I'm not sure how quick people are going to be, even if it was in Nashville this year, to jump in the car and go. I mean, it's just I think people are going to be a little more conscious. I'm with you. Those 3 destinations, 2 of them are definitely not drivable. Milwaukee, on the other hand, it's doable, but, I think people are going to be thinking it through just a little bit more. So, the problem with the NCAA tournament is short notice, and we know what the fairs look like generally when you go on short notice anywhere at any time. So, that may become cost prohibitive to most people.
Yeah, and I looked at the flights, Tommy. They're 400 plus to both Portland and Buffalo, and I know we like to go to the NCAA tournament, but I was thinking to myself, this might be a thing where we stay in town this upcoming week, just depending on what ends up shaking out. We'll have to wait and see where they end up. But Milwaukee would be, and that's still, I mean, like I said, it's 10.5 hours away from Fayetteville, so it's not like it's that much closer, but it is a little bit closer than having it. I say a little bit, still a lot closer than going to Portland on the west side of the coast, and then on the east side of the coast going to Buffalo. That's those are parallel, polar opposite ends of the country based on where you are in Arkansas. Milwaukee's basically just a straight shot up almost.
But I think it's important people understand there's not a complete randomness of where you land. It's based on the seeding, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people think, well, they'll put you regionally. Well, no, I mean, you got to fit into wherever your seed slot is at. So for Arkansas, those are the places where the 4s and 5s are going. That's the thing to listen to is that's where you're likely to end up based on where 4 and 5 seeds will be located in this first weekend of the NCAA tournament.
And I think it's appealing if you're Arkansas to wind up in Milwaukee, not just if you get a chance to win out those first 2 games and play in Chicago, because I think there's a good number of Arkansas fans in Chicago, and that'd be an easier trip. But I like the idea of some Milwaukee fans who love Bobby Portis with every fiber of his being to, unless Wisconsin is in there, Greg Gard and his team have a good chance of winding up in there, to at least there be some neutral fans, Tommy, that maybe cheer for you based solely on Bobby Portis, who is probably, and I'm not kidding when I tell you this because I watch those games all the time, the only player that probably is loved more in Milwaukee and Wisconsin that's playing for the Bucks is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's it. Bobby's probably 2 or 3 on that list, and maybe you get some neutral Bucks fans or neutral Wisconsin fans like, I love Bobby Portis. I'm going to cheer for this Arkansas team because that's where he went to school.
Well, the ones that are in the arena may adopt you in the game unless you were playing Wisconsin somehow in the matchup. So even, they're going to root possibly for the other team in red and white when their team isn't playing. But, yeah, I think there's some truth to that. And then hopefully some local fans end up in that. Sometimes a lot of corporate tickets eat up some of these regionals and sub-regional action, but I don't know if Bobby would be around to even attend a game. Obviously, if they're playing there, because we did determine they're playing in that same arena, that he's going to be on the road somewhere with the Bucks. So,
which is a bummer because you would hope that he would be able to watch his team. But yeah, the NBA it's going to be ongoing while that's going. I do want to dive into these Zeb Jasper comments and some quickie headlines in just a sec. I want just to set the scene what happened. So Zeb did not play in the Arkansas-Auburn game. He was injured. Wendell Green started in his place. And apparently he and his teammates have not forgotten the way that Arkansas, the fans, and others treated the Auburn players. This would be a wild semifinals matchup based on how he feels his team feels. And I'll tell you about what he said in just a sec.
All right, so that coming up in a minute. We're brought to you by World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is the number. The madness is here, so don't miss any of the games. And don't miss your favorite series or show while you're watching the games this March. Call WOW now. They'll have you installed before this weekend's up. Give you a $100 Visa gift card. Lock in your price for the next 2 years when you call World of Wireless. And they can meet or beat any national offer. So if you've received something in an email or you've gotten something in your mailbox at home that says, hey, we can put Dish in for this price or this deal, call them now. They'll even upgrade you to the free voice-activated remotes when you call your local premier Dish dealer in World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. 3 TVs in the house, less than $90 a month. It's only at World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH for World of Wireless.
We've got 2 of these comments corked up this morning in 2 parts. We'll let Clay react to one of them coming up at 8 o'clock. But, Drew, let's go ahead and play that first one. Here is Zeb Jasper talking about the disdain that he has for Arkansas.
We would love to get him back, especially Arkansas. Not really Florida, but Arkansas. We'd love to get him back. If we see them on the side and when they win, we win. That's one for sure. We would want to play. We would just feel like we was disrespected. They feel like, they got to win. They feel like they better than us right now. But, if we play against them, the intensity is going to be high. The energy is going to be flowing because we feel like we got something to prove against them. We feel like we're going to beat the crap out of them when we see them again.
Now, Tommy, I don't know about you. When I heard those comments, I was so happy. Now, there's no guarantee that these 2 teams play each other. They are matched up in the same side of the bracket. If they both win their quarterfinals game, they will meet in the semifinals. It's not often you hear a player talk about an opponent that's not next up on their schedule or in the manner and the form of fashion that Zeb just did. And I don't know if Bruce Pearl likes that. I don't know if he cares. I just know as an Arkansas Sports Talk radio host and hearing his hearing his comments yesterday, I knew that would be a fun topic to get into this morning.
Doesn't bother me. Don't feel disrespected. I hope Arkansas's players feel the same way about Tennessee if they should meet them again. Feel the same way about the teams they lost to. So, for everyone that wants to feel disrespected by those comments, don't you hope Jalen Williams and J.D. Note and just keep going down the roster feel the same way about the teams they're going to play? I mean, if they get LSU again, hey, we got something to prove. We want to beat them a third time. So I like the edge. He didn't play much, didn't play at all against Arkansas, but this isn't a guy that fills up the stat sheet. But, hey, talk a little noise. That's good for us. You think that won't get played in the locker room or a team meeting room? Absolutely, they're going to get their hands on that audio. They don't miss anything with Muss's staff. Every stone is turned, and they find every morsel underneath it that they can use. So if Arkansas ends up matched with Auburn, and that's very possible on Saturday in the semifinals, that will be used somewhere, I'm sure, behind the scenes for Musselman and his staff.
I think that whether coaches say that it's just another game or it's just another team, it's this, it's that, to me, I feel that Eric Musselman and his team use that in the locker room. And you heard it last year. I remember when we'll flip to football real quick. Remember we had the rankings come out. KJ's at 14th on the list, and you're like, oh, they probably don't pay attention to that. Sam Pittman mentioned that this year. You also had other players mention that KJ was 14th. So you know that was either passed around on social media amongst the guys or said in the locker room, this is what they think of your quarterback. And with this basketball team, you beat the number one team in the country at home inside of Bud Walton Arena. The court storm, everything that went on, they're ticked about it. We know what happened with Devo Davis and Wendell Green after the game. That's an ultimate sign of disrespect. I don't think Devo meant to. It just ended up turning and being the tornado that it was. So Auburn's ticked off, and you know what? That's good for college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
College basketball needs storylines like this. The SEC needs storylines like this. They need Zeb Jasper to have some animosity towards Arkansas. No, we don't need it to turn into anything physical on the court, which I don't remember the Auburn game getting chippy. I don't. You might have to kind of or go back to and maybe disagree with me on that, but I think this is good, man. And I am corked up and excited, Tommy, if these two teams face off in the semifinals. And what do we determine? Amalie Arena? Is that how we say it?
Amalie Arena, yeah.
Amalie
so
Arena.
BA and El Dorado brings in a good point that, how could Zeb Jasper feel disrespected when they stomped and danced around on the Hog logo at half court prior to the game? We remember that happening, and BS great. It seems very hypocritical for Zeb Jasper to make a comment like that, but that's fine. I mean, when you get beat, you ought to be a little sore about it. If you're not, then you're not the competitor I want on my team. So I'm fine with what he said, but don't act like you've been disrespected. You just got your butt beat. I mean, it happens. That gives them the edge going into maybe a Saturday semifinal, a matchup they relish. Good, because you know what? It'll feel even better when Arkansas beats your butt again, and you wanted it that much more. So go for it.
Yeah, and I liked how Tennessee responded when Auburn did the same thing to their logo, Florida as well. It's something, and then Auburn fans are like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Well, it's not that big of a deal, then stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it means a little more, especially we all know the image of Terrell Owens as a San Francisco 49er. He scores once but twice against the Dallas Cowboys and stands in the star, gets decked the second time. I think there's a little more.
A little more to it when you ran 50 yards to get there, but I know what you mean.
A little more up to that, but still it's one of those things. It's like you treat – I think Arkansas and Auburn fans will tell you that logo – it should be associated with respect. And our Auburn fans feel that way about the A. Arkansas fans feel the way about their logo. And so when you when you don't treat it with respect, Arkansas fans get mad. And the players, I mean, the first thing, I remember this as vividly as it gets, Tommy. The first thing, Alyssa Lane has got Muss in the corridor or whatever to go back into locker rooms because she's trying to get him away from the crowd. The first thing that he says in that broadcast is, they danced on our logo.
Yeah.
We saw that. He doesn't go into it 2 or 3 minutes. That is the first thing that pops into his head. So that being said, if the head coach is talking about it, then the players are talking about it, and they know that, and they fed off of it during that basketball game. Will there be near 20,000 screaming Razorback fans here in Amalie Arena? No, but there's still going to be a little tension between these two if they end up facing off on Saturday in the semifinals.
Here's what I'd like to know. They played the Auburn-Kentucky game on the Plains this year.
Mm-hmm.
If they'd played in Rupp Arena, would they have done the same thing in midcourt prior to the game at Rupp?
Ooh. Well, they did it in Knoxville. They did it in Gainesville.
I'm guessing they would have. Yeah.
And that would have. I mean, you can say what you want about Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl's a good coach. Now, there are things off the court or whatever, but I think the elevation of Auburn is good for the Southeastern Conference and seeing what they did. I mean, a couple years ago, they're in the Final Four. They're a shot away. They foul Kyle Guy. He hits those 3 free throws. Otherwise, they're in the national championship game. So Auburn being elevated in basketball is good for the SEC because Kentucky used to just run away with these things for the most part. I know Arkansas had their day in the sun in the 90s, but for the most part, this has been Kentucky's league. And now seeing Auburn, seeing Tennessee, seeing Arkansas get back into it. I know Wildcat fans don't like that, Tommy, but Greg Sankey sure does like it.
Well, I think Arkansas is going to play LSU on Friday, and I think they're going to have their hands full. So until you can't even worry about Zeb Jasper or what that does to motivate your team or how you present that of your muss or any of those things. Maybe we'll revisit that in one of our pre- or post-game shows or pregame show on Saturday. Maybe that's something you can do after the game on Friday. But I think Arkansas is going to have all they want in their hands full if they play the LSU Tigers on Friday around 1:45 or so.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy game whatsoever. Couple headlines to get into real quick before we close out. Jalen Williams got named to the all-glued team by Seth Davis at The Athletic. Tommy, Justin Smith was on it last year, so cool to see Justin and Jalen back-to-back guys that are very, very key for their basketball teams. J.D. Notte, another All-American list he's made. This one comes from Sporting News. And then big news for Michigan as Juwan Howard returns from suspension ahead of the Big Ten tournament. Any chance the Wolverines, Tommy, go on a run and win the Big Ten tournament with Howard back?
Has his absence been good or bad for the team in regards, I haven't really kept up a lot with Michigan, but I don't know that this doesn't seem like a team poised to make some deep run in the tournament. So I don't think I'm going to have them deep in my bracket. So.
Last thing, it's International Women's Day. This is from bookies.com. I got this email sent to me yesterday. We were talking about the Dallas Cowboys earlier. Apparently, they have the highest female engagement of any fan base in all of the NFL, which doesn't surprise me at all because I know a couple of my Cowboys friends that are girls. They are passionate as all get out. So that was not surprising to get that listed all yesterday. And apparently, they also have the most positive outlook, not just the females but the males, the Dallas Cowboys do about their team. That's also not surprising as well, considering I hear Cowboys fans tell me every year, we're going to the Super Bowl, Tommy.
Yeah, and, a lot of people in our listening audience grew up Cowboys fans because their dad grew up Cowboys fans because their grandpa grew up a Cowboys fan because that was the team you saw on TV. It's regional. It's got that star on the helmet. There's just a lot of reasons that go into it. So I'm guessing a lot of the ladies love the Cowboys for a variety of reasons, but probably because their daddies did. And that had rubbed off on them. Would be my number one guess on that.
I think that's a fair guess.
And why it is the way it is. All right, Clay Henry coming up. He's going to join the conversation as we get ready for the SEC tournament. Ty is live in Tampa this morning. Hey, Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members, Wave Rural Connect is expanding into a new zone once again. The Cedarville zone now open. That's Cedarville, Natural Dam, Uniontown, areas north of Van Buren now have high-speed internet. So if you've been using terrible, overpriced satellite internet or low-speed DSL still, because that's the best you can get, it's now time to make the move to Wave Rural Connect. They're based in Ozark. They can get you TV, home phone, and high-speed fiber internet to your door starting at $49.95 per month. Go to their website. Check out if you live in the service area. They're expanding every day, every week. Go and sign up at waveruralconnect.com. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 833-4WAVE-RC. That's 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities they serve.
A lot to get into with Clay. We'll talk about kind of what he saw from the Tennessee game, what this matchup on Friday looks like potentially at LSU, maybe a little baseball as well, as we get into hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a Toyota Tuesday live from Tampa.
March Madness is here, and Burton Pools and Spas has all the savings you need to make your summer a success. Doughboy Above Ground Pools in-stock select packages up to $900 off. Cash and carry savings start at $19.95. Ask Burton staff about low-interest financing and payments as low as $87 a month on Doughboy Above Ground Pools. Burton Pools and Spas, making your backyard dreams come true in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan. How can I help?
Hey, Jan. Say, is now a good time for a new Toyota?
You bet it is. Now through April 4th is the perfect time to shop for a RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma, Corolla, and more.
Amazing. I was just thinking of a RAV4.
Well, imagine yourself in a RAV4. Where would you go first?
Okay, I've just got my RAV4. I am picking up my friends and going out to lunch to celebrate.
Perfect. A bistro? A deli?
Skinny Al's Barbecue.
Whoa, okay. I love barbecue.
Huh. Well, then you should imagine yourself digging into the best ribs you've ever tasted.
I'm imagining you inviting me.
My imaginary self thought you'd never ask.
Let your imagination run wild at your participating Toyota dealer. Whether you're imagining yourself in a sporty Camry, versatile Highlander, or the spacious Venza, now's the time to ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Do you remember the joy you felt as a kid about pizza night? Remember how good it smelled? You could taste it even before you opened the box. And then that first bite. It was so good. Be the supper time savior. Order Jim's Razorback Pizza now. 434-3456. The best pizza in Fort Smith, or it's free.
Jim's Razorback Pizza.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese. He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe in a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Ask Shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
for today. We will see an increase in the cloud cover. Chance of seeing some scattered rain, especially across the south. Our high today in the upper 40s to low 50s. Could see a little wet weather tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the low to mid 30s. And then Wednesday, sunny skies are high, 55 to 59. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light Next with 0 carbs and only 80 calories. It's brewed for what's next.
David Jean-Baptiste drives, goes up, three-pointer on the way. Got it! He hit it! David Jean-Baptiste, 3 at the buzzer. Bucks win it!
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Davis with 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
It is a Toyota Tuesday here on The Morning Rush as we are live from Tampa, Florida, about a mile away from Emily Arena at the SEC Tournament. Arkansas taking on either LSU, Ole Miss, or Missouri this Friday. We're getting you ready for it. And, Tommy, it is, you heard the Chattanooga and Furman call. I know it's not March Madness just yet, but
well, maybe it is.
There are some tickets that are getting punched this week to the NCAA tournament.
Always fun to see those smaller programs in the non-Power 5 conferences when they get that automatic qualifier, and you can see how much it means to them. It might be the first time in decades some of those schools have been there. We're in Tampa. Someone's going to punch their ticket Sunday in the SEC. All of our coverage in Tampa is brought to you by Crane Automotive in Fayetteville, WT Equipment in Springdale, and Twin Peaks in Rogers. We'll have tons of coverage all week long for you. We're also brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. They've got above-ground pools. I know the weather doesn't feel like pool season, but we know it's March. We know the warmer weather is on the way. Cash and carry savings on Doughboy above-ground pools start at $19.95. They've got in-store specials right now with $900 in discounts on Doughboy pools, and the crew from Burton's will come out and fully install those for you as well. Plus, if you get a semi-in-ground pool, get a free upgrade, a $600 upgrade for free for a robotic cleaner. It's a month full of madness and savings at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com. Clay Henry is with us. Clay, good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be with you boys.
I guess we're still braving some of this cooler weather while Ty's down there with open-toed shoes in the Sunshine State.
Who is Ty? Tell me again.
He's just our guy. He's our boots, not our boots on the ground. I guess, Ty, you're our Chacos on the ground there in Tampa.
Chacos on there. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, you can recognize Ty from a long ways away. He's the one not doing anything with the backwards hat on, right?
Can't remember the last time I wore a backwards hat, to be honest.
Well, good. I'm glad you can't remember. But it's probably been recently.
So.
My hair is getting longer. I'll start wearing them.
Okay. Yeah. That works, right? Got to keep it out of your face.
Clay, we got a lot of basketball. I know Ty's going to get to a few things. I know we're going to get some football stuff as well. Spring practice starts on Sunday, and it doesn't feel like spring yet, but football practice will be here in just a matter of a few days.
Well, it's this week is pretty nasty. You may have some snow Friday, and Sunday's going to be a little better. And then you look at the next 2 weeks, which is as far as I can do on my weather app. I see a lot of 7-0, 7-1, 7-0, 6-8. That's perfect football practice weather. So I think they're going to hit it just about right.
So
the Jonicles may be gone, but they're going to hit it right.
Yeah. So, all right. Arkansas lost to Tennessee on Saturday. What do you think the mindset is of this team as they go to Tampa? They get some rest. I think they need it physically and probably mentally as much as anything. Don't play until Friday.
Well, they're. I know that one of the things that Eric Musselman wanted to work on this week were some sets for Stanley Umude. They really weren't calling plays for him. He was kind of getting the offense through what others were doing, and I think they want to get some sets and get some plays called for his mid-range game. And I also think the most important thing they're doing is getting Audice Toney in the training room, getting that ankle right, because to me, that was the difference in the game, is that you didn't have him to put on a point guard or their top scoring guard, because he was shutting them down for the last 6 weeks, and that was the key to their turnaround of their defense.
Yeah, just look at what Kennedy Chandler did at home against Arkansas relative to what he did in Knoxville. It's night and day, and Audice at 6'6". When you have three guys that go 6'6", Trey Wade, Audice Toney, and Stanley Umude, plus Jalen at 6'10", plus I know J.D. Note is 6'1", 6'2", but he plays like he's 6'4" to 6'5" at times. The way he gets after you defensively, blocks shots, gets steals. They're a little bit of a difference when you take him out of the ball game, boys.
No question. And, I think Arkansas just right now, I don't know which is – I mean, physical rest is always important. You don't want to get out of your groove, but I just think having some time to maybe mentally regroup and decompress from a long grind of a regular season will benefit not just Arkansas, but Auburn, Tennessee, and Kentucky. That's the fruits of and that's the dividend. That's the fruits of the labors to get this double bye and not have to play till Friday.
Yeah, the rest is important, but I really do think that Eric Musselman is the kind of coach that's got some tricks up his sleeve, and he's got some things that he can put in polish, and he's got 2 weeks to do that. And I think it's important when they get to the NCAA tournament, not so much the SEC tournament. I think that the fruits of that, in other words, if you win a game, great. But one of the things that seems to happen every year is no matter what you do in that tournament, the selection committee will tell you later, well, we had this all figured out. It was already done. And I know that's true. And so it's not going to change a lot. You've got, all these games and all these away games and all this stuff that they've really factored in. So I think the most important thing is to get some stuff that you can take into the NCAA tournament that opponents have not seen, and just a few more wrinkles. And in crunch time, one of those wrinkles might pay real big dividends.
Yeah, maybe an inbound play, some new things you can work on late. If you don't win a game in Tampa, if you match up with LSU, which I think is a bad matchup for Arkansas, but we'll get to that later on. That means you'd play 2 games in 12 days. And there is a certain rhythm about just playing, guys. And so I think winning a game and maybe at least playing 2 in Tampa is important just for the routine and the rhythm of playing the game.
Could be true. I mean, I'm not a big proponent that the tournaments, help you that much. You can argue, well, 2 help you. And you can also argue that 3 hurts you. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. There's a fine line.
One's not enough and 3's too many.
You're right. You're right.
But
it's right in that wheelhouse. Tommy, I'll ask you this, though. When Clay just mentioned what a lot of people already know, that everyone has their seedings basically done by Sunday. Is television the only reason the SEC doesn't move it back to starting on Tuesday and finishing up on Saturday? Because that, I think, would help elevate certain teams if they got another day to kind of realize that. Is television what's kind of keeping that from moving it back a day?
I don't think, no question. And I think you get lost in the shuffle. I think there's certain exposure for your league. And let's remember, college basketball, unless you live in a college town or you're hardcore tied into a team, college basketball doesn't get a great deal of attention across the country until this time of the year. And right now, it's becoming front and center. So Sunday, when you can kind of have somewhat of an exclusive window, there's a reason the Big Ten's always played last. They want that exposure. They want that national presence and prominence for at least 2 of their programs. So you got to remember, college basketball as a whole to the country is this week coming into focus. So you don't want to miss out on that window. So I think that's a part of the equation. Bruce Stanton's going to come in. We'll talk about that Arkansas-Tennessee game. I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about that and kind of the predictions and thoughts for the upcoming tournament this week in Tampa. Hey, we're brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. That's where you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. They've got a big selection right now, on-site storage available, great service department, even a collision center that can do paint and body work as well if you find yourself in need of that with your RV. And remember, every new RV has that lifetime warranty. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Live from Tampa, when we come back, also want to touch on the Calvin Ridley news. If you haven't heard, the former Alabama wide receiver suspended the entire 2022 NFL season.
The Must Bus is on the road, and so are we. Our live coverage at the SEC tournament in Tampa is brought to you by Crane Automotive in Fayetteville, WT Equipment in Springdale, and Twin Peaks in Rogers.
Get a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system from Ashley Air. And there is no down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems. And you get the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. Get a free furnace when you purchase a new system from Ashley Air. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your appointment. That's AshleyAir.com. Ashley Air is a proud sponsor of Razorback Athletics.
Finding your niche is key to making it in today's world. Hi, this is Brett Goo with Henderson Phillips. I found my niche in the NFL for 10 years as a long snapper. Now I've found my niche with Henderson Phillips, helping business owners and executives get the most value for top dollar on employee benefits. I am Brett Goo with Henderson Phillips. Call or text me today at 479-651-2292. That's 479-651-2292.
The temperatures may be cooling down, but at Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas, the deals are still red hot. Whether you are enjoying one of over 50 state parks or tailgating with your favorite team, Wheels has the right RV to help you enjoy fall in the natural state. And at Wheels RV, every new unit comes with a lifetime warranty. So get out to Wheels and see why they were voted best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
We're remixed and remastered at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. Some of your favorite apps, drinks, and desserts are now even better the second time around. Check out the sizzling cheesy bacon mac and cheese bites, a blast from the past with a whole new vibe. Also back are the famous Fridays fried mushrooms and the ultimate cheesy bacon cheeseburger. And all new at Fridays is the Oreo Madness, house-made giant Oreo cookies with cookies and cream ice cream coated in red and white sprinkles, served with chocolate sauce and a fresh strawberry. Come by or order online. It's your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers in Fort Smith.
March is here at Frank Rowe Furniture, and it's my birthday month. Since it's my birthday month, I'm having a big sale with hundreds of dollars off savings on furniture. Not only are we offering big savings, you won't pay a dime on sales tax. That's right, no sales tax on cash or finance prices. I'm not done. We are knocking off $25 on all deliveries. In-store no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials, tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com, JODYS auto.com.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Needing your roof repaired?
repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Devo to the baseline, reverse layup, good. Hawks set a double stack out high. Devo got the driving bucket. Razorbacks within 4.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
We're live from Tampa, Florida, right next to Amalie Arena. SEC tournament tips off tomorrow. Bruce Stanton, Pradco Fishing is in here. We'll talk to him in just a sec about the game this weekend, the upcoming games this week, and maybe what Zeb Jasper had to say, the Auburn point guard, about who he wants to play in this SEC tournament. This morning we are brought to you by the Majestic in downtown Fort Smith. You can check them out online at majesticfortsmith.com. Concerts, wedding receptions, other events. I've been to a couple beer festivals there. It's a great time. Food and alcohol sold during the show. And big deal, Tanner Usseray, he was on the Yellowstone, the soundtrack. He is going to be there this Friday. So if you don't have plans this Friday and you're in Arkansas or outside of Arkansas, you should check out the Majestic again. For tickets, go to majesticfortsmith.com. 817 Garrison Avenue, music, mixers, memories at the Majestics.
Is there a better brand than Yellowstone to have your name attached to right now? I mean, that's a 1883 in Yellowstone, pretty good ones right now. So
doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce, let's get this over with. Go ahead and because it was funny. I had several of my buddies who are around your son's age, and they were all asking me this week after the Tennessee game. It's like, well, Bruce is going to be happy as a clam on Tuesday morning. I was like, well, I won't see him in person, so I'm having to visualize the joy on your face right now as you get to reflect on your Tennessee Volunteers getting it done on Saturday.
I thought all those kids called me Mr. Stanton, Ty.
They do, sir. They do.
Sir.
They do.
No, it's just par for the course in the top 4 teams in the SEC. Tennessee held serve at home, was real fortunate to get out of Thompson Bowling with a win. But, anytime you go undefeated at home, that's special. I still think Arkansas has probably got a better tournament.
I was going to ask you, do you like the fact that you leapfrogged Arkansas and Kentucky to the 2 seed? Now you got to play Kentucky.
I felt like whoever lost that game, it's going to sting, but you get to play Auburn. And, your buddy Zeb Jasper, who no one even knew who he was till he started running his mouth about, wanting to get back at Arkansas and run them in the ground. I'm like, I don't know. If I'm Jabari Smith, I'm not real happy with that little kid right now. But it was a good win for Tennessee. You got to play the whole game. We obviously had a great first half, and it just was too much for Arkansas to overcome. Y'all didn't have Tony. We lost our starting 4. Olivier Namkoa February 2nd. So Tennessee's adjusted well without probably our best rebounder, third best scorer, and found a way to overcome it.
Say that name again, Bruce.
Olivier Namkoa.
Easy for you to say.
He's from Finland.
Jeez, and you got what, Juris Plavic as y'all center?
He's from Serbia.
Golly, that's some
Juros. He's a big guy. He's a clanker. You want to put him on the line because he's shooting right at 50%.
Then you got the V-man.
We got the V-man.
Right. Man, we all, it was a highly entertaining game in the second half. Not so much in the first, but to see those two go back and forth, it's quite fun. So we got the SEC tournament in front of us now, and what Tommy and I were discussing in hour number one is coaches don't necessarily like when their players are outspoken and truthful and honest, but we as sports radio hosts sure do, because when you have an Auburn player who is very, very, again, opinionated about the Arkansas Razorbacks, that audio is a must here on ESPN Arkansas. So we played the part one of this clip. Let's go and get into part two. If you're just hopping in with us this morning, Zeb Jasper is Auburn's point guard, along with Wendell Green Jr. He did not play when the Razorbacks and the Tigers fought inside of Bud Walton Arena, but he still had a thought about that game and maybe the repercussions of what Arkansas fans apparently offended him and his teammates after. Take a listen.
From their coaching staff, their players, their fans, we just didn't tolerate the disrespectfulness they put out.
From Arkansas?
Yeah, I see. Like I said, I didn't get to go on the trip, but I just see all types of stuff on the internet, this and that, and I'm a firm believer in my coach. I'm a firm believer in what he do. For him to get disrespect, for him to be mad on what they did, I'm gonna be bad too. And I would love to see Arkansas.
That's pretty listen, man, I love that. And that's I'll give Zach Blackerby credit. That's his podcast of Locked On Auburn. But, guys, they could be matched up in the semifinals. Auburn's got to get by whoever they have to play. Arkansas has to get by most likely LSU. I hope this game happens just to see these two teams go at each other based on what Jasper's speaking to this past day.
Yeah, one of the things that I always am amazed at is that oftentimes the rest of the team doesn't feel the same way the player that said that did.
And wish they hadn't said it.
And I'll guarantee the coach is like, on the line, everybody, this is for Jasper. This is for his talk that he made on the little podcast, and thank you for stirring the pot for Arkansas. It just serves very little purpose, and, it exposed his grammar. When you listen to him, you think, man, he's 25 years old or whatever. He's not a young guy. He's been around for a while. And, that's just – it was just kind of sad, to be honest. And the fact that their team danced on the Arkansas logo before the game, like, hey, you want to talk about disrespect? Says, you guys just keep pouring on. Just keep doing it.
Well, I agree with Zeb. I believe in Bruce Pearl, that he's doing everything he can to break rules, be shady, and all those kinds of things.
He said he'd do everything.
He'd do everything. Bruce Pearl do everything, I promise.
He'd do everything. Oh, boy.
You can bet Eric Musselman's got that stored away. It's not far. It's just out of arm's reach. But once he gets past that first game, you can bet that's going to be I don't know if he'll pull it out the morning of the game on Saturday or when that will be played, but that portion of that podcast will be used with this team because no stone goes unturned in game prep for Eric Musselman.
If this comes down to coaching in the last 5 minutes, I'm not too worried about Musselman versus Bruce Pearl.
So you think they didn't like Devo hanging on the rim?
Just a little bit. You remember this last year, Tommy? So I pulled that clip. I was watching a betting segment, and Todd Furman, who works, I think, still for Fox, you remember they're matching him against Texas Tech, and he's like, well, I think that Chris Beard's going to coach circles around it.
Yeah.
And I clipped that out. It got like 50,000 views, and Musk told us that Michael showed him that clip like the day before, right before the game, and then I asked him about I said hanging curve, and I told him exactly where I was going to throw it, and he hit that sucker out of the park because he teed off on Todd Furman, and that goes to show you that, I mean, he's it's not just him, but he knows, like, he uses these type of things. So, again, kind of like you just said, Tommy, they're not playing Auburn in the quarterfinals. They might get to play them in the semis. They got to get past LSU most likely first. But if they do that, that thing is, as soon as that game's over, that thing's getting played in the locker room over and over again. And you know the players have already seen this too.
Tommy and I are up here in the studio up in Cold, Arkansas, and like you, Tom, we were talking that LSU game, beating a team 3 times, especially how they D it up. That's going to be a tough game.
I don't have a good feeling about this potential first matchup. Now LSU's got to get there, but you know, Clay, when you look at LSU versus Ole Miss or Missouri, and LSU needs to win a few games in this tournament to really, I don't know that secure a spot in the tournament. I think they're in the tournament, but they do have a chance to probably do more for themselves this week than many other teams on this bracket. Clay, I just, you know, I think LSU's a really good team, and I think the old adage of beating a good team 3 times is hard to do, and I don't like this matchup for Arkansas.
Well, there'll be some adjustments, and the third game won't be anything like the first 2, and you're right, it's difficult. But I've always said the best team usually wins, and Arkansas is the best team. You look at the records, and you look at how they've played, over the last 2 months, and it's LSU's lost a lot of games, guys, and the thing that you have to understand about LSU is that they have terrific talent. They are poorly coached, and they play poorly in the crunch time. And there's a reason why Will Wade, after the game, said we didn't play smart at the end. Well, that's what they are. That it's you play well in late game situations because you have practiced and drilled them and drilled them and drilled them. It is when you don't hear teams talk about what they do to practice for the last 2 minutes, but it's extensive, and it is. And when you get into those games, it matters how much you've prepared. And when you watch LSU, they can't suddenly do that. I mean, it has to be something that they've worked on the whole year to understand. You do this, you don't do that. But LSU keeps doing it. So it's not something that they're going to suddenly flip the switch and be perfect in late game situations. They'll do some things well, and athletically they'll do some things well. Yeah. But that comes down to coaching, and I will say this: Todd Furman would say in this instance that Eric Musselman will coach circles around Will Wade.
Yeah. Well, and right now Lenardi's projections this morning, or the ones he put up late last night, have LSU at the number 20 overall seed, which would make them the last number 5 seed on the bracket. So I think there's a lot to play for here for LSU.
There is, and I agree with everything Clay said. I think probably the biggest thing for Arkansas is Jalen's got to avoid the slide step, avoid early foul trouble. I think that really hurt him against Tennessee, and LSU's very athletic. And, you're just going to have to man up and not slide in. I think refs are looking for it. They're being coached to look for it. And I think that's something they've got to adjust a little bit and keep Jalen out of foul trouble.
Particularly early in the game. Ty, you and I were talking about this early. If Fulkerson or Plavik get that early, I think it was Plavik that got the early basket, and Jalen got a foul like 30 seconds into the ball game. Let that one go. I mean, don't even take the chance on getting fouled there. Your ability to be on the floor for your team, it's not the first foul, it's now the second or third foul you pick up potentially in the first half that kills you. Avoid the first one, harder to get the second and third one that way. So I think you just got to, not surrender, but you just got to play some of these early 5, 6, 7 minutes of the game maybe a little bit different, a little more reserved. And I know that's not what they've done, but Jalen Williams being out there and J.D. Notae being out there is more important than defending that one basket.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is totally on point, Tommy, and I'll take it a step further. You've got to attack, is it Tari Eason, who is a foul-a-minute guy, and he played 17 minutes, scored 23 points. 17, and the reason why he played 17 minutes is because he gets quick fouls.
Yeah.
And their script was to go at him, get him in foul trouble because he's ultra aggressive. He's going to slap down. he's going to try to block your shot, and he's going to do it horizontally, which is a foul every time, right, Tommy? Yep. They swing down,
makes
and
it easy.
That's what he does.
Yeah,
and you did foul him out, but you could have fouled him out a little earlier if you had followed the script. And I think they'll do things like that, and that makes a difference.
Yeah, best thing you can see, guys, is Arkansas get to that second media timeout, the under 12, and Note or Jalen have one or fewer fouls.
And
0 would be great.
Too, yeah.
And Amude too, but particularly Note and Williams, because as they go, the team goes.
And Tommy, you brought this up, or maybe it was you, Clay, that Stanley Amude, because I remember Musk touching on this last week with Stanley. He's had some of his better games as of late. They're trying to get him more in action, and they have time to kind of do that this week. Hopefully you'll see more of that where Stanley gets going, because you saw him. He knocked down 3 triples against Kentucky and then had, 20-plus against, I can't think of it, maybe it was LSU. They did 20-plus against LSU. So
big game against Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, you hope to see him continue to get it going, because if Arkansas has him, that'll help out. Now, Clay, I was telling you during the break, Bruce, we kind of calculated this out. Arkansas is likely going to find out and be a 4 or 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. They're probably not going to win this whole thing down here in Tampa. That might get them to a 3 if they did it. But the 3 destination, it looks like that Arkansas fans are going to end up are Buffalo, Portland, and Milwaukee. Milwaukee's about 10.5 hours from Fayetteville. Portland and Buffalo, you can't even drive there. You got to fly. I just wonder, I don't anticipate a lot of Arkansas fans being down here at Tampa because you just were for the Outback. I wonder how many Arkansas fans will make their way if they end up in either Buffalo or Portland, which looks like it's going to be a 33% chance possibility based on the kind of the calculations I did leading up to it.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing for Arkansas and the other top 3 teams in the SEC is they were so dominant at home. When they did struggle, it was on neutral courts or on the road. And I think if Arkansas can figure out, how to play in Tampa, win a game or 2, it's definitely going to help them in that cavernous NCAA tournament atmosphere where you might only have several hundred or a few thousand fans at most. When you look at Lenardi's bracket, if they do stick Arkansas out west with Gonzaga as the 1 seed, I think Arkansas has got the best chance to advance in Lenardi's bracket. They got Tennessee's a 3 in the South with Duke and Baylor, and that's just terrible matchups for the Vols. And Tommy and I were talking earlier. You don't want to play Coach K and his last hurrah.
Nope.
That's bad.
I want to be on the not only opposite region. I want to be on the opposite side. That way, the only way you could see Duke would be in the championship game. I just think after what happened Saturday, this is like when Tebow gave his speech and they put the plaque and statue up for. This was one of those kind of moments after the loss the other night when he just declared it as unacceptable. I think I can't imagine the pressure on the players to win in that moment at home on his last game with all of those other players, 90-something former Duke players. How many of them played in the NBA? Can you imagine the pressure on that team to win in that moment against your rival, Coach K's last day? I can't imagine a more pressure-filled moment, guys.
Well, I think the pressure will continue. I think it's just going to build.
That was different. I just think that one was different on Saturday.
Well, I think that they'll have pressure going forward. And I think they'll play tight, and you guys are right. That might be the one you want to dodge, but I don't think that they're not the favorite to win it because it's his last game. They have good players, but they have some weaknesses, and they were exposed a bit. If you've got a big that can move, that really affects them. They're better at guard than they are, elsewhere on the court. And I thought North Carolina's big that could go out on the floor and shoot a little bit like Jalen is just the perfect medicine for what they lack. But and here's the other thing. I think players really are excited. It's like, hey, we'll beat him. He didn't want us. And I think there's some guys that step up to that challenge.
Yeah. Duke projected as a 2 seed by Lenardi right now. So, we've seen him lose in that spot before, but Coach K's track record is pretty good for a reason. So, but hey, Arkansas Duke rematch in '94, his last game. I can't think of anything better. if Arkansas could get on a run.
That'd be awesome. I do think just on the face of it, out of the 4 teams that are really great in the SEC, Kentucky is probably built to play best on a neutral court because Rupp is just like a country club. They don't get real excited there. And, Kentucky's got a bunch of blue chippers. We'll see where they end up. But
Did Cal ever find his watch? His Rolex? Or that fall in a recruit's bag somehow, his swag bag. I don't know. So, all right.
I think there's a guy named Oscar wearing it now.
Might be. Bruce, it's about to be prime time. That full moon's coming up, and time to get that tackle box ready for some great bass fishing. You were doing some fishing over the weekend up in Missouri.
We were. It's a big weekend for Pradco. We had a big line review up at Walmart last week. We debuted a new Bobby Garland bait, which I can't talk about yet, but they were real excited about it.
You just did.
I didn't tell you what it was.
Yeah.
And we were actually using that bait up on Lake of the Ozarks, and the last day we fished, we caught 166 crappie in about 4.5 hours. The crappie were all 1 to 3 feet, fishing mud flats under a thill bobber, and they were hitting Clay's favorite color, monkey milk.
Yeah, I got a few packages of these monkey milk Bobby Garland crappie baits.
So the other big thing that happened is Jason Christie from over in Keys, Oklahoma, on Lake Tenkiller won the Bassmaster Classic, and he won it on a War Eagle Jiu-Jitsu. He won it on a Yum 2 3/4 inch chunk trailer, and got to the office about 8 yesterday. By 9, we'd sold out of our complete inventory of both of those baits. So we're going to spend all week in Fort Smith making Yum chunks and getting orders placed for War Eagle jigs because Jason Christie's Classic win cleaned us out of them. And then he's got
big deal.
He's got another new bait, which we're in R&D on right now. We'll be developing in Fort Smith, and it's a bait that it's called a Yum forward-facing sonar minnow. He used to win the Classic on a prototype we made here in Fort Smith, and we're Chad Warner, our product development managers. He's not sleeping. He's trying to get those made because we can probably sell tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of them, if we can get them out in the next few months, so people can
Bruce,
catch big bass on them.
What makes it a sonar minnow? What's the
forward-facing sonar, Clay? Everybody's got these Garmin and Humminbird units on the front of their boats now, and you actually see the fish swimming. So it's a forward-facing sonar mounted on the front of your boat, and you pitch these baits to the fish. And a lot of these baits are what we call do-nothing baits. They don't have any tail action. They don't really swim. They don't have appendages. It's something you can just put on the nose of a bass because you see it on your electronics, and just putting it in front of him will make him hit. So you don't want it swimming. You want it staying, right where that fish is. So there's actually baits being designed for this forward-facing sonar, and
that's what we've got on our boat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fortunately, we own the name Sonar. It's a heading bait, and we didn't have to trademark it or patent it. It's one we already had in our hip pocket. So
that's pretty cool. By the way,
we took advantage of the technology.
He's gonna make some sonar midges here this week.
Well, sonar midges, sonar
That's
mayflies.
what Clay's gonna be working on in his lab.
Because we got all that coming.
I need that Garmin technology on the front of my waders with a little screen that I pull down from my laptop. Yeah.
Now, sir, that would not be sport then. I mean, then you're taking the sport out of it.
No,
What you would. That's what Clay would say.
I don't chum. I don't.
Next thing you'll be carrying a can of corn around out there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, it is prime time. Crappie are coming up. Bass are biting. March is a big bass month. A lot of the big bass will spawn first. My buddy Chris Elder down at Lake Washita caught a 7-pounder on a Red Excalibur bait last week. So, we're starting to see some big fish catches, and, time to get out there.
Hey, be a good time to go to Gaston's because you could stay at Gaston's. You could fish above the dam at Bull Shoals, and that's one of the premier lakes. Or you can fish, of course, the wonderful White River for big browns and trophy rainbows. Great time to be on both lakes, or both the lake and the river right now.
No doubt. Bull Shoals, Norfolk, it's Rogue time, Scottsboro swim bait, Flash Mob Junior. Those types of baits are going to work on main lake points. Man, when that wind's blowing, you can go in there and catch a bunch of fish and take that same Rogue and go down to Gaston's and jerk it around the eddies for those big brown trout. So you got a couple things to do this week. watch Ricky Smith win the state tournament.
There you go.
And watch the Hogs win some games. Go fishing.
All right, so call Gaston's and make your reservation. Follow Bruce's advice. 870-431-5202. That'll get you in at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer.
Win. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
The Fence Man, the company. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Really happy to announce that Manscaped is now supporting the Hit That Line podcast network. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and they're offering you the new Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle Performance Package. Join over 4 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Just enter the code HTL at manscaped.com. Again, that's HTL at manscaped.com. I think if my math's right, that's 8 million balls. Inside this package, you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Provider toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. The Boxers and Shed travel bag are a free addition, and they bring it to another level. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HTL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code HTL. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why He feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and He promised when He went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship. The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Here we go.
Carson Dean has committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks class of 2023 out of Carrollton, Texas. Had offers to a couple of big-time schools, LSU, Texas, Baylor, and others. Played defensive end. Also plays a little outside linebacker, 3-star player. Guys, right now, I know this is not going to stay this way, but Arkansas has the #1 recruiting class in the SEC and the #3 recruiting class in the country. And, again, I want to be abundantly clear. It's not going to stay that way when it's all said and done. But it is kind of nice to see your name at the top of the SEC as it stands.
Are you being a hater? Are you saying they can't be #1 when it's all said and done? Come on now.
What do you want to bet?
Keep adding 4 stars, and it'll stay there.
Wait.
This guy is a 3-star.
Correct.
But he could develop into a 4-star. He's 6'4", 225, and he runs like a deer. I mean, he can fly. He runs a leg on the 400-meter relay team at Carrollton. Is it Abron?
Hebron.
Hebron. And same school that gave you Dietrich Wise and Zach Rogers. The guy, I think his split on the 100-meter, on his leg was like 10.87, which is really fast for a football player that plays, in the box in the defense. So that's the kind of athlete that you're looking for. And of course, they added the Georgia Tech pass rusher yesterday too.
Yeah, Jordan Dominic, he committed. He has had over 100 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, and a good number of stats to go on with the 31 games that he's played for the Yellow Jackets. And this guy, this guy is eligible. Dominic's eligible in this upcoming season, along with Landon Jackson, Jaden Hazelwood, and all the transfer portal guys. The kid out of Carrollton,
Sanders,
Drew Sanders, all those guys. But the other guys in the class of 2023, he'll be a senior heading into this upcoming season. But it's nice to have another defensive lineman added to a position group that you really need to have as many guys there as possible.
Clay, we were going over it, and you may or may not know the answer to this, but we believe there's one scholarship left. Do you know the number or the math on that now for the current roster?
Well, I think it could still change. I mean,
that was kind of our answer.
Yeah, it can still change because there can be a guy that comes out of spring. Mike Woods, he didn't leave until after spring. Last spring. So there's still some guys that could leave that could give you a shot at another guy for 85, and you never know about true freshmen. Somebody gets homesick. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't think that's why recruiting doesn't ever stop. Mm-hmm. And the same thing, you think you got the numbers figured out for basketball, and then there's 2 guys that leave or whatever. So I think that you recruit knowing that something is likely to happen. You may not control it exactly. Sometimes maybe you do. But I think there's some guys that you get through spring and you say, this is our evaluation, and that guy says, I'm out of here. So it's just there's so much would you say the situation is extremely fluid now in college athletics?
Yeah, particularly with the portal and NIL. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's true, and it's exciting to watch what Sam Pittman is doing. We're going to meet with him Thursday. I talked with Ricky Stromberg last week. Ricky was really good, and I sit down with him and we visited for a long time, really. Just talked, and right at the end he kind of threw out something, and he says, "Hey, you probably understand we're not on social media." And I said, "No, I don't, because I'm not on social media either." And he goes, "Well, our football players, we're just not out there on social media. That's not what we do. We do our talking with the pads, and that's how Coach Pittman likes it. And we're about work and no talk." And then he just kind of threw something out that just kind of floored me. The interview was basically over, so I didn't follow up on it too much. But he said, when I got here 4 years ago, different coaching staff, and the players talked back to the coaches. And he says, then Coach Pittman arrived, and those players that talked back with the coaches, they were gone in 2 weeks. So, it's like, it's funny how that works, right, Ty?
Yeah.
Different type of leadership, it seemed like, and I think that's evident. It
seems like it is. Yeah.
Whole new culture.
You're right.
Jalen Williams is named an all glue guy by Seth Davis of The Athletic, and coaches all SEC selections come out today.
Maybe an all SEC player here in a few hours.
JD Note is going to be first teamer. I think Jalen's probably going to wind up on that second team. I saw JD Note also got named a Sporting News All-American, the second All-American awards list. He's also been named first-team All-SEC by USA Today. Here's USA Today, I think, is going to have the coaches selection as well, guys. They had Oscar Tshiebwe as the National Player of the Year, Bruce Pearl's the Coach of the Year, Walker Kessler's the Defensive Player of the Year, and Jabari Smith as the Newcomer of the Year. Any change you think you see when the coaches selections come out, or do you think it's virtually going to be the same as the USA Today selections?
I see no problems with that. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I thought that Arkansas winning at Tennessee, if somebody really had, an exceptional game, then Auburn loses and you're suddenly SEC champs or co-champs, that, maybe that would be some power behind, maybe one of the Arkansas guys moving up into one of those spots. But I think it's okay where it sits. And, I definitely agree with the Athletic in picking Jalen Williams on the glue team. In fact, I tie flies and I use a lot of different materials to bind the feathers and hooks, and I use a lot of super glue. I think Jalen Williams is a super glue guy.
So I think he'll be certainly on that second team with what he did. We were talking earlier, Clay, though, that maybe there's a little animosity about all the charges taken. We know Rick Barnes had his in a wad over it and kind of got his way this last weekend. I just wonder if there's a little animosity when the coaches fill out the ballot with Williams in that regard. Or there's respect. There should be respect, but there might be some animosity.
No, I think that there is respect, and but I think that they're going to work the refs as well. I don't think there's animosity, but I think that coaches use every opportunity to position their team for the next game. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Jalen Williams, he's going to get some block calls. He's going to get.
But he got more charges and blocks this year.
No, he has, and he's just got to be smart, and he is, and he understands exactly where he has to be. Can't be touching that cup line. He cannot be moving sideways, and he's got to make sure that the guy does hit him. He can't go down before the contact is. He's done that before.
Can't flop.
So. Yeah. So, but I think by and large, I've agreed with almost all the calls. I was like, that's probably a block, and then they'll call it a block. Okay. And he's gotten some that I thought, okay, that might be incidental, and he got the call.
Yeah. All right, that's your That's your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, more from Tampa coming up. We're brought to you by Mosquito Joe. Mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas can ruin your outdoor activities this spring and summer. Don't let it happen. Mosquito Joe of Arkansas is a family-owned business right here in the natural state to keep your backyard mosquito, tick, and flea-free all spring and summer long. Call 479-202-9960 or log on and find out more at arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
This is here, and Burton Pools and Spas has all the savings you need to make your summer a success. Doughboy Above Ground Pools in stock select packages up to $900 off. Cash and carry savings start at $19.95. Ask Burton staff about low interest financing and payments as low as $87 a month on Doughboy Above Ground Pools. Burton Pools and Spas, making your backyard dreams come true in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan. How can I help?
Hey, Jan. Say, is now a good time for a new Toyota?
You bet it is. Now through April 4th is the perfect time to shop for a RAV4, Tundra, Tacoma, Corolla, and more.
Amazing. I was just thinking of a RAV4.
Well, imagine yourself in a RAV4. Where would you go first?
Okay, I've just got my RAV4. I am picking up my friends and going out to lunch to celebrate.
Perfect. A bistro? A deli?
Skinny Al's Barbecue.
Whoa, okay. I love barbecue.
Huh. Well, then you should imagine yourself digging into the best ribs you've ever tasted.
I'm imagining you inviting me.
My imaginary self thought you'd never ask.
Let your imagination run wild at your participating Toyota dealer. Whether you're imagining yourself in a sporty Camry, versatile Highlander, or the spacious Venza, now's the time to ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary.
Sports fans, it's March Madness. Where are you going to bet? I know where I will. BUSR, of course. NCAA basketball, NBA, MLB, you name it, they got it. Besides sports and racing, you can play over 300 casino games at BUSR.com. And remember, no download is needed to play these games. Sign up today and get an exclusive 100% deposit bonus by going to BUSR.com/morningrush. That's BUSR.com/morningrush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR. Did you know that sometimes roof damage goes unnoticed? Have you seen a few houses in your neighborhood get new roofs in the past couple of years? It could be that your roof has damage. Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance adjusting and residential roofing. Let Brother come do a free inspection of your roof. He'll give you a complete analysis of your roof and work with your insurance company if it needs to be replaced. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
It is here, fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect. Cedarville, Uniontown, Natural Dam, and surrounding areas get fast fiber internet, TV, and phone service from a local provider you can trust based in Ozark, Arkansas. Internet starts at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone at $29.95. Order now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Do it now. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
New for 2022 and in stock now at the Golf Nut, tailor-made stealth carbon face driver, Cobra LTD X Woods, hybrids and irons, and Callaway Rogue ST driver. The Golf Nut has a great selection of golf bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. And in stock now, the new Puka headwear, pigs, pokes, and boomer hats. As always, check Facebook for daily specials. All this and more at the Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see an increase in the cloud cover. Chance of seeing some scattered rain, especially across the south. Our high today in the upper 40s to low 50s. Could see a little wet weather tonight. And overnight low will drop down into the low to mid 30s. And then Wednesday, sunny skies are high 55 to 59. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Follow us on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith.
David Jean-Baptiste drives, goes up, three-pointer on the way. Got it! He hit it! David Jean-Baptiste, three at the buzzer. Bucks win it!
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir!
We are live in beautiful downtown Tampa where it is sunny and 75 outside. Looking at Amalie Arena, not too far away from me, getting ready for this SEC tournament. You know, listen, you got to take advantage of this. I just got a recommendation for the guy I'm staying with. Channel Side Nails is where I'll be getting my pedicure, Tommy. So I'm really excited to get rid of these.
We'll call the ladies and tell them to call in sick today. If not, they're going to be sick.
I think that I might have worse feet than Shrek. I'm looking at my feet right now. They're an orange shade. They're not green, but it's just it's disgusting. So we got to get these things taken care of this morning as we get ready for this SEC tournament down here.
What'd you say it was 75 right now, or that was the high today?
High is 84, and it's currently 75 degrees.
It's,
and it's
29 right now in Fayetteville, about 33 in Fort Smith, and where Clay is at, let's see, let me slide over here. Norfolk's at 33 degrees as well, so
cold.
You enjoy it. Yeah.
It's supposed to snow in Fayetteville a little bit on Friday, I saw. That's so odd to me in March, but I'll say this, fellas.
We had snow in May a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
it snows every March time.
That's wild. But it was. I remember in Nashville in the 2017 SEC tournament, it snowed when I was down there watching Arkansas. So it snowed in March before. I know Nashville a little different from Arkansas, but yeah, it's a little different down here, fellas. There's so many ponds and like tributaries and lakes down here. Tampa's kind of a weird setup, but it is kind of cool to be in board shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah, they also have the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah,
is that what's down
it's
here
the
too?
big pond a little further out.
The big old pond.
Yeah,
but it's a cool spot at Clay. I was telling Tommy I
Beaches.
saw some there's a beach I think like 25 minutes from us. I saw some Arkansas fans last night when we went to the wharf, which was kind of cool. Saw some other SEC fans. This isn't going to be as highly attended as it is if it would be in Nashville, Tennessee, but I still think you'll see some fans from all over kind of the SEC area that make their way down there. Maybe the ones that didn't get to go to the Outback Bowl will come down here to support their Razorbacks because this team is deserving of support the way they played this season, guys.
Tampa is an eclectic place, and I think it's pretty cool. I didn't get the full effect because I was only there for basically a day and a half. on the football and the bowl trip, and that was kind of the height of the Omicron, arrival, and so you just didn't do a lot of stuff. So, but I think right now this would be the perfect time to enjoy Tampa. So I'm glad you're there, Ty. And Tommy, I doubt that you get much work out of him. Yeah. You're going to get an hour and a half to 2 hours out of this radio stuff, but the rest of the time, just be prepared for some odd, check receipts or whatever you want to call them.
Did you mean what you put in that text, Clay, that you would pay 100% of a one-way ticket for him?
If he goes to, I'm not going to say that. If he goes over an ocean and stays.
To Siberia?
No, I'm not going to say any place like that.
That wouldn't be the place to be right now.
No, it would not be. I would just say, he can go to Hawaii for all I care. Just not come back.
That'd be over the ocean. Absolutely.
And then we could use you when the Hogs go to Maui. Is it next year? You could be our
later this year.
Our guy on the ground. Yeah.
It is
later this
year.
calendar year. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about next basketball season. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are brought to you this morning by Razorback Camper Sales. Spring camping season is almost here, and not only do they have a huge selection of travel trailers, fifth wheels, and pop-ups, but they also offer full prep setup at no extra cost, so you can leave the lot and start camping immediately. You're going to have access to the best parts and service department in the state, and it's the oldest family-owned RV dealer in Arkansas. They've been in business for over 50 years. Come by and see them in Hot Springs or online at razorbackcampersales.com. Guys, Arkansas finished 15th in the final regular season AP poll, and I think they got as high as 10 at one point, if I remember that correctly.
They're 8th.
Was it 8? Okay, so they got to 8 at one point. And they had some ups, they had some downs, but there's been a lot more ups than downs. So looking back, because you played all your regular season games to this point, now we're in postseason play with the first game coming up on Friday. What are your thoughts on just the progression of this team, where they started? I know they haven't finished yet because we'll see where they wind up in the NCAA tournament, but what has stood out to you in the timeline of this Razorback basketball team this year?
I'll go first. The first thing I'll say is they look coached, and they've improved, and the whole idea is that you keep getting better. And, the same thing. I've always noticed, that Dave Van Horn's teams, no matter where they start at, where they finish is usually better. As they roll through the preseason and then the games that we're playing now, and then they get into conference play, they keep getting better. They figure things out, and that obviously is what Eric Musselman does too. And if you keep getting better, the season's gonna be good. Sam Pittman did something similar. I watched a couple of games early in the season with Kobe Hale and the soccer team, and what I saw a month later, their team had gotten a lot better. And I think that's coaching. And so, it really sets up well going forward. That he's going to figure things out. Yeah. And there's evidence, where J.D. Note is now, where he was 6 weeks ago, completely different. Jalen Williams is a different player. I think that Stanley Amude has gotten better. They keep figuring things out and fine-tuning roles.
Yeah. And along those lines, just to piggyback on that, then I'll make a different point, is this team, until they started playing Eric Musselman's way in January, didn't get it figured out because they weren't playing defense the way he wanted them to do that. So the way the rosters turn over, I don't know how much carry forward you can make on that point when you come in next year, and if you hit a rocky patch or a rough patch in December. Guys, remember last year, you'll have a few, and you need some of those voices in the locker room, but I think he's built enough of a track record here. Hopefully there's enough carryover on your rosters, and a guy like Jalen Williams maybe coming back that can say, listen, Coach knows what he's talking about. Let's do it this way. It turned the season around. So that would be one thing that I saw, that once they, and he's voiced that. Once they started doing things his way, things turned around. I also see a team, Clay, that can win basically playing any style they need to win. If they need to play a game in the 50s, they can do that and make it a defensive slobber knocker. If they need to score a few more points and J.D. Note needs to get 30 in a night, well, he's done that, and you can get a win. So this is a team that can kind of change gears or shift styles night in, night out, and win games however they need to win them?
We talk about different things, the abilities to do this, abilities to do that, guys that can shoot, guys that can defend. But what I see more than anything with Eric Musselman's teams is toughness and the ability to play hard, home and away. And I think that I've said this probably 2 million times. That is the essence of coaching. No matter how Nolan Richardson did it, his players played with incredible passion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one thing that it's one thing to coach it, but I think you also recruit it. You go find a Corey Beck. And I think they even in the portal, they're looking for toughness. And you can stir that up a little bit. You can bring that out of guys with the way you practice. But usually that just reveals that you either have toughness or you don't. And it looks like what he's done is gotten the toughest players on the court. And I think that was what really helped at one point by playing Trey Wade, right? Yeah. I mean, I think he's a tough guy. And I think that of late they've gotten, some toughness out of some other guys.
Yeah. Johnson, Kamani Johnson's been
no
one
question.
Of them. He's given
exactly
some
what I was
hard
thinking.
minutes.
He's the guy.
When Jalen couldn't go, so for foul
I
trouble.
thought that there was a period in the game against Tennessee where they got a little bit of a run, maybe 10-0, and he had his hand in a lot of that. And I thought that the game last week on Wednesday night against LSU came in there, and their mindset was we're going to out-tough this Arkansas team, that they kind of, bloodied us a little bit down in Baton Rouge, played tougher than we did, in the second half, and we're not going to let that happen. And it made for an incredible physical, down and dirty battle. The ball was on the court. There'd be a scrum here, and the ball would pop out, and there'd be a scrum over there. They didn't win all the scrum. I'm talking about Arkansas. But they're not going to let somebody out-tough them. And I think that's coaching.
There's going to be some tough battles ahead because, kind of like Bruce was saying earlier, we know that the record for Tennessee, Auburn, Kentucky, and Arkansas, there's only one loss between those schools, right? That held serve after this past weekend. So they play really well at home, but the teams haven't played as well on the road. How do these teams play in Tampa? How do they play in the NCAA tournament? Because it's one thing to win in Rupp, Thompson, Bowling, Auburn Arena, and Bud Walton Arena, but can they sustain success in these road/neutral? It's going to be more neutral side environments than anything. Because Auburn's probably going to get a 1 seed. Kentucky's probably going to get a 2. Tennessee's going to probably get a 3. Then Arkansas's probably going to get a 4 or 5. Just going to have to wait and see, like we were talking about earlier, where these teams end up.
Yeah. So it'll be fun Friday. Game time will be somewhere just before 2 o'clock. 1:30, 1:45 will be our guest. The Learfield broadcast will begin at 12:45 right here on this station you're listening to now and at hitthatline.com. Hey, Friday, if you're looking for a place to watch the game, don't forget Joe's Grill and Cantina. It's Taco Tuesday, so $1 tacos today on Taco Tuesday. And then on Saturday, they do that as well. So if Arkansas wins on Friday and plays in the semifinals, you can get those Saturday. But Friday, they'll have half-price apps and taps during the game. So if you kind of cut out of the office a little early, looking for a place to go watch the game on Friday, Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith is that spot. Half-price appetizers, all the beers on tap are half price as well during the game on Friday. So have a late lunch and head to Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Want to, real quick before we get into this Calvin Ridley news, want to give credit to Moses Moody. He had a career-high 30 points for the Golden State Warriors last night. Steve Kerr was very high on him. He's had a really good rookie season. It's cool to see him have success at the next level and playing alongside guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and seeing him have an impact nevertheless despite not being the 1 or 2 scorer. Now, the big national story, y'all, is this Calvin Ridley situation. Former Alabama wide receiver that has been suspended by Roger Goodell for the entire 2022 NFL season. Here is ESPN's Adam Schefter yesterday talking about the betting situation. If you're just unaware of what we're talking about, Ridley made some bets about his team when he was away, some NFL bets, and I want to hear what Adam Schefter of ESPN had to say about the number that he made.
It was a time in which Calvin Ridley was away from the Falcons in November, a 5-day period in which the NFL determined he was out of state in Florida. On his cell phone, he placed 3, 5, and 18 parlay bets on his Atlanta Falcons team. Now, the league determined that there was no inside information, no contact with coaches, but the league does not want any appearance of impropriety whatsoever. And the rules are very clear in the NFL's gambling policy. And so it essentially suspended Calvin Ridley at least 1 year. He is eligible to apply for reinstatement February 15th, 2023. And so he will lose $11.1 million in base salary next year because he placed what he says is $1,500 worth of bets on a few parlays.
So there's a couple of questions that need to be asked. One, does the punishment fit the crime? 2, does it matter to you that he bet on his team, not against his team? I know that was the Pete Rose, the people that were with Pete Rose and still with him. That was the argument that they always have. Guys, Keyshawn, J. Will, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Kellerman were discussing this morning. Jay Williams and Max were kind of on one side, and Keyshawn was on the other. Clay, what side are you and Tommy on this morning?
I would say that he's done. I mean, just like shoeless Joe Jackson. I mean, I think that's you're betting on the game, you're betting on the team that you play for. That to me, that's there's no room for that, and I think you have to send a message to the league. And I always said the first guy that got caught doing this, betting with his phone, is going to get hammered. And I was surprised they didn't say, "Hey, he's suspended forever. We'll review it later," instead of just saying 1 year.
Well, I think most of the reports I've heard, Clay, it's at least 1 year is what Roger Goodell said. Here's the thing, when people commit crime, and this is a rule. This isn't a crime he's committed, but think at it from this kind. How many times do you get caught the first time you did something? Generally, people don't get caught the very first time. So I think that's one reason it's been worded as at least 1 year. I don't think they're done investigating. I don't think they're done digging, and I don't think this is probably the first time Ridley has bet on games either.
Yeah, and we're gonna have the same thing pop out in the college game. I mean, it just is. It's too easy.
And that's where I was
going to go.
It's
too accessible now. Yeah.
That's where I was going to go next. Is how likely are we going to see a college player suspended for an entire NCAA season, someone of high profile? Now, Ridley
for the rest of his amateur career.
Yeah,
and that's a good point as well. Yeah. Calvin Ridley had he bowed out of this season due to some stuff he was dealing with personally, but before he did, he was having a really successful year, and he's a byproduct of Nick Saban in Alabama. We know the type of players that come out of Tuscaloosa under his watch and his program, and Calvin is one of the better wide receivers that he's had in the past decade or so. And I just wonder, because that worries me a little bit, because I like talking about gambling. I don't do it as much as I used to, but I do wonder, with so much, as you guys both just said, access, especially for collegiate athletes who are going to have different people, family members, not coaches, but family members, friends asking him about this player, about this guy. Yeah, the connections. I mean, eventually that's going to seep into impacting the game, I think, and that's
I'm not saying that betting is wrong. I'm just saying that it's out there and it's part of the game, and it will be something that has to be monitored. And y'all know the scandal at Boston College years ago, the point shaving. Well, guess who a student manager was at Boston College during that time? Do you know?
No.
The student manager at Boston College is. Don't tell me it was Roger Goodell.
It was Bruce Pearl.
Was it really?
Yeah. Now, he wasn't involved. Now, I'm just saying he was there. I mean, it was during his time period that he was at Boston College. So he knows what all this is about and understands how serious it is. And all college coaches have, in the back of their minds, have always been scared that that's something, they give lessons on, I think there's been times I think they've brought in FBI guys to do the talk because it's serious when the guy comes in and he's wearing an FBI hat. You know it's real.
I'll never forget. We used to have, particularly in fall camp and August practice and spring when the practice fields were now where the football operations center sit. Coach Petrino and Coach Nutt would come into the visiting locker room. Clay, you remember this, and do their post-practice talk. And in that visitors' locker room in Razorback Stadium is a phone. It's not a pay phone; it's just a phone on the wall that used to be there. I assume it's still there. And over it, do you remember the sign? It was an NCAA anti-gambling sign, and it was right over the phone. It said, "Don't bet on it." I always thought that was just humorous that the fact that the anti-gambling sign was right over the one phone that was in the locker room.
Call the bookie.
Call the bookie right here.
You cannot call the bookie with this phone. I don't know if it's
well-placed or poorly placed, but the anti-gambling sign, Ty, was over the phone in the locker room.
Jeez, that's just part of it. Now, here would be another question I would ask both of you guys. There have been certain domestic violence issues that have taken place, and some have been found guilty of, some have others, and the punishments in some people's eyes don't always fit the crime. This seemed very authoritative. This seemed something that Roger Goodell and his team not necessarily got out in front of, but as soon as they saw it, this is what's happening. What would be the pushback to that when you compare those type of incidents with other players that maybe seem to get second or third chances that other players don't, that Calvin didn't seem to get with his gambling situation?
I don't guess I understand the question. Are you asking me to compare domestic violence to gambling?
Well, it just seems there's been certain cases where guys have not been suspended an entire year. And ongoing
well, I think it has to do, when I've looked at those and read those stories, it has to do with evidence and whether they could confirm it.
I just think gambling, it's in a group or a category or a bucket of its own, and it's if you're involved in the game, if you're connected to a team, even if you're not a player, but you work for the team in the front, it's forbidden. Don't do it. And I just think that I don't think this is as strong a message as it could send. I think 1 year, in a lot of people's opinion, is going to end up being kind of a light, sentence, if you will, or light suspension here compared to, what we've seen in the past, which would be lifetime. So
I think here's what's going on, guys. I would believe that there has been gambling throughout time with NFL players. What you have now is the smoking gun. Yeah. If you're doing it with a phone, they say, "Let me see your phone."
Yeah, it's totally traceable.
There is no place you can hide it.
Yeah, there's no question about it. All right, before we go, hey, if you're looking, out there, the public, you can place that bet. You can get in on the action here this March Madness. BUSR.com/Morning Rush. That's the place to go. You can get a 100% deposit bonus. That means if you put in 100, you get 100 back. If you put in 500, you get 500 matched by BUSR. They've got everything from all the March Madness games to you can bet on things like Academy Awards. They've got a full casino on there, also a race book as well. So everything is fun, safe, and secure, and you get that 100% deposit bonus right now with BUSR. Just go to BUSR.com/Morning Rush. That's BUSR.com/Morning Rush. Bet with confidence. Bet with BUSR.com.
Bus is on the road, and so are we. Our live coverage at the SEC tournament in Tampa is brought to you by Crane Automotive in Fayetteville.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Really happy to announce that Manscaped is now supporting the Hit That Line podcast network. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and they're offering you the new Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle Performance Package. Join over 4 million people worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Just enter the code HTL at manscaped.com. Again, that's HTL at manscaped.com. I think if my math's right, that's 8 million balls. Inside this package, you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Provider toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. The Boxers and Shed travel bag are a free addition, and they bring it to another level. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HTL at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code HTL. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
The phrase in dire straits originated in the 1400s from sailors having to carefully navigate their vessels through narrow passages to avoid a shipwreck. So Far Away from Dire Straits is a song lamenting the struggle of a long-distance relationship over the phone. Mark Knopfler said, "It's a joke. It can't really be done over a long period of time because you both get exhausted with it. Sin has put us in dire straits with God, and that's why he feels so far away." Jesus said the passage to God is a narrow way, and he promised when he went so far away, the Holy Spirit would be here to stay. This isn't some hunch or intuition, but a conviction navigating you to God's holy word. When you have a real relationship with God, you have the person of the Spirit living inside you, guiding your walk of life every step of the way. Don't trust your feelings. Look up John chapter 16 and see if it sends you reeling. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Read about it.
Football might be over this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pros and college hoops. For all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. Head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's promo code BLEAV. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage, is the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Resources. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for spring at our Meineke Car Care Center with a free AC check, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. But hurry, this deal's done at the buzzer. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Bath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price determines actual trade allowance. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends March 31st, 2022.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Williams with a basketball, right of the circle, underneath Tony.
kick out. Note, one dribble, step back, three-pointer good. Note with a huge bucket. He's got 20. Hogs are up by 4 with a minute to play.
Have you listened to Trusting the Process on the Hit That Line podcast network yet? Check it out on hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Talked a lot of Arkansas basketball this morning as we're live from Tampa on a Toyota Tuesday, but do want to touch on some football news and notes. You got 2 commits yesterday, one in the class of 2022, a transfer out of Georgia Tech, and one in the class of 2023 that you should be excited about. Pro Day is coming up tomorrow, plus Sam Pittman is going to speak with the media on Thursday. So we'll tell you about that. All coming up in just a sec. This morning we are brought to you by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. You can always order online at butcherboyburger.com. You can order through the app. You can order through the drive-thru at the Fayetteville location. And you can also dine-in at both the Russellville and Fayetteville locations and do to-go at either place. Make sure you're following Keith Wilson and his team on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But be careful because the picture of the burgers are going to make you want to go there immediately. And don't forget about CJ's Butcher Boy Burger seasoning being offered at your local Harps and both Russellville and Fayetteville locations. Plus, they have Butcher Boy Burger seasoned patties being sold in Harps too. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. So, guys, a good number of football notes this morning. Jordan Dominic commits out of Georgia Tech. You've got Carson Beck. I'm saying Carson Beck. That's not his name. It's
Dean.
Carson Dean. I don't know where I got Carson Beck. Carson Dean commits out of Carrollton in Texas in the class of 2023. We got Pro Day coming up tomorrow with Busta Brown, Traylon Burks, Myron Cunningham, and others. And then you got Sam Pittman talking practice on Thursday. So I know we're right in the center of Arkansas basketball being down here at the tournament. Guys, football's, I know it's 179 days out, but we're getting hot and heavy to football right now too.
Yeah, we get to see how they rebuild this defense with all these portal guys. That might be more talented, but it's going to be less experienced. And I'm interested to see how they do with their edge rushers, which they've tried to shore up that area, and possibly, how are they going to replace who I think is one of their best defenders, Monteric Brown, cornerback. If you can lock up at cornerback, it gives you a little time to pass rush.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the list of Pro Day, and all those guys you just talked about. Trey Williams on the defensive line, Ridgeway, all the front line, bunch of them on there. You mentioned Brown; he's on this list. I think there's 13 players.
2 linebackers.
Deion Edwards on there, Grant Morgan on there. So I mean it. You look in this list on Pro Days, kind of defensive heavy. So it just drives home the point of what you were saying about rebuilding the defense. You juxtaposition right here to this Pro Day list, and there's a lot of those guys that you need to replace right there, getting ready to go through their agilities and drills tomorrow morning at the Walker Pavilion.
I think that's right, and we'll see how Traylon Burks runs again. I don't know whether he's going to run. There's sometimes that they do, once they've done the combine, they'll say, hey, we'll let that time stand. I don't know whether he likes the 4.50, 4.55, the 2 times he ran up there. That might be what he thinks he is. Yeah. We'll see.
Does he think he can do better? But, I mean, some made more of that than others. Clay, what did you think about that? At 225, that still sounds like fast enough considering his weight.
Yeah, I think I thought he was going to run like 4.48, something like that. So, I mean, it looked like he stood straight up out of the blocks, which isn't ideal. They don't have blocks, but you know what I'm saying, out of their stance. Without question, with Traylon Burks, all you need to do is pull out the Alabama tape, the Ole Miss tape, Texas A&M tape, Missouri tape. Those games, he was the best player on the field. And if you look at those tapes, you know that it doesn't really matter what he does at the combine, what he does on the field, and how he carries his pads. There's some guys that they can run, but then you put pads on them and they're not as fast. I think he's probably as fast or faster with his pads on.
All right, so we'll We'll have a full recap later this week on Pro Day and kind of what happens there and any updates that we need to tell you about. We're brought to you by Kevin Hickey and the Kevin Hickey Law Partners, Hickey and Hull. They are there for you. 479-434-2414 in the River Valley is their office number. 479-802-6560 for their Northwest Arkansas office. If you're going through a contract dispute, a family issue, or divorce or custody separation, or you're not getting the visitation that is laid out for you, Kevin Hickey and Brad Hall are there for you at the Kevin Hickey Law Partners. If you need an experienced representation, whether it's as a homeowner and you've got a contract issue with a contractor, or whether you're going through some family law stuff, Kevin is there for you with Kevin and Brad at the Kevin Hickey Law Partners. Go to their website, kevinhickeylaw.com. That's kevinhickeylaw.com, or again, 479-434-2414 in the River Valley, 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas.
Not a surprise that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is reporting that Tom Crean and Georgia will be parting ways after this season. They put that out about 20, 30 minutes ago, and I don't know if he's going to be the only SEC coach that is going to be after the door after this year. But, guys, I think this was pretty inevitable, the way that the Georgia Tom Crean era has gone in Athens thus far.
Well, and just another reason you should be at that ball game on Wednesday night to make sure you see the end of the Tom Crean era as Georgia plays Vanderbilt. So, Clay, I just think it sounds right. If he's going to be in Tampa, he needs to cover that game, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I mean,
bring back some sound.
If he's a basketball guy, he'll be at all those games. I know he likes to brag that he's a basketball guy, but when he goes, he ends up just kind of disappearing. You see these pictures of this bar or that bar or this bar, and he's worried about getting a pedicure. I mean, I think that's really what we need to know about Ty.
Yeah, so just one more reason, Ty, for you to be there. So
you're just giving me incentives all over the place, aren't you?
Yep.
It's riveting.
Georgia Vanderbilt.
Riveting. Just
Don't miss it.
All right, one more segment coming up.
This is Toyota Tuesday on the Morning Rush. Get by your local Toyota dealer for a test drive today. Toyota, let's go places.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
On average, someone wins with a scratch-off game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery every 1.3 seconds. That means by the time I'm through talking, more than 23 people will cash a winning ticket. And it just might be this one.
The new multiplier tickets are here with top prizes from $5,000 to $500,000. So look for the ticket with the X.
Get your ticket today. It's time to play, scratch, and win. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
See more and do more in a new 300 Series compact track loader from New Holland. Its industry-leading 360-degree visibility is truly something to see at Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas. With its reverse camera and 8-inch multifunction LCD display, super boom lift technology, rock-solid stability, and redesigned controls, you'll work with greater speed, safety, and precision. Maximum productivity starts with a clear view. Stop by Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas today and see how a new 300 Series compact track loader helps you do more.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer.
course, like every other seltzer. But it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal. So you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Don't you just hate that? Sitting in a tire store waiting room while your car's being serviced? That's the last place you need to be with work and kids and the 10 million things you need to be doing. Well, don't. Free shuttle service. Pickup and delivery free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Hi, Kim Bircher. 3 locations, 1 in Van Buren and 2 in Fort Smith. One stop. We do everything. So you don't have to go from place to place for tires or service or repairs or maintenance. We are local. 37 years and voted best of the best time and time again. We will pick up and deliver or shuttle you, so you don't have to waste your time. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier at Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS Auto.com.
It's spring sell time at Jelco Outdoors this Friday and Saturday. Get ready for spring fishing and turkey season. Check out the new gear for spring 2022. Register for guided bass, crappie, and catfish fishing trips. Jelco is open 9 to 6 on Friday and 9 to 5 on Saturday. Get into the swing of spring at Jelco Outdoors this weekend. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Let Carco Car Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car. Carco Auto Sales has been serving the River Valley in eastern Oklahoma for over 40 years and believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating people right. The friendly and knowledgeable staff is here to help you find the car you deserve, priced right to fit your budget, so you can leave with a peace of mind knowing that you are getting a quality, well-maintained vehicle. Come see the team at Carco Auto Sales, formerly Hertz Car Sales, at 2810 Midland Boulevard today. Give them a call at 783-1722 or check them out at buyfromcarco.com. Carco Auto Sales, when you're ready.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
USA Today came out with their Players of the Year, Coaches of the Year, and Defenders of the Year in the Southeastern Conference. No surprise to see Oscar Tshiebwe unanimously voted as their SEC Player of the Year. J.D. Notae was named first All-SEC for USA Today. Bruce Pearl, their Coach of the Year. Jabari Smith, the Newcomer of the Year. And Walker Kessler is the Defensive Player of the Year. Guys, the Coaches All-SEC selections come out today. I think J.D. Notae is going to wind up first team, and then Jalen Williams is going to wind up second team. Any pushback on that statement for me? You guys think they wind up anywhere else?
I think they're both in the top. There's 8 on each team. I saw Matt Zimmerman talking. Sometimes they'll name a 9th on the second team, but generally, that's how it rolls out. Clay, I think these are 2 of the best 16 players in the league, and I think they'll find their way on the first and second team.
Well, I think if you had a draft of coaches, if they would take those players in that order. They would. JD'd be on the first team, would be in one of the first picks taken, and then Jalen Williams would be right there. I mean, I like the glue pick by the Athletic for Jalen Williams. I mean, to me, he's super glue. I mean, just the guy that makes your team go. I mean, I thought Devo Davis would have a better year and might be one of these guys that would be, a second or third team all-conference player, but he just hasn't had it, and for whatever reason, and I'm not sure what the reason is.
Any idea who was the only All-SEC selection for Arkansas preseason? Y'all remember who that was?
It was Devo, right?
It was Devo, second teamer, and
he's kind of starting to round into that form late, but he hadn't had that kind of season. But he
did
played
not play
better.
well against LSU, and I thought he was, was average against Tennessee, right?
And I want to know, when Muss talked about that they're not going with that same starting lineup that they just had, does that mean Trey Wade's going to be taken out? Does that mean Devontae Davis is going to be taken out? Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm of the belief that we are not going to see Au'Diese Toney on Friday. I think that they're going to be very cautious with him unless there's a major breakthrough. I don't think we'll see him till the NCAA tournament.
Yeah,
That's just a gut feeling I have.
You do not want to tweak that ankle again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that – and then by the same token, if he's not ready for the NCAA, you want these games to find out who can play that spot.
Yeah.
You don't feel as confident about your team without him on the floor. You'd much rather him to be healthier in the NCAA tournament than to play him and maybe, as you just said, tweak it in the SEC tournament.
He's like Jalen Williams in that he does a lot of the things that you need to win, but it might not be points and rebounds. It's defense, it's hustle plays, it's going on the floor for a loose ball. He's mature. He understands what it takes in the crunch to make winning plays. It's just a key offensive rebound, a key defensive rebound. And again, those show up in the stat sheet, but he doesn't have to have 15 points and 10 rebounds to make a difference in a game.
Well, and you could have won against Tennessee without him had you had J.D. Notae more in the first half. He wasn't in foul trouble, just sitting or saving him for the second half, and Jalen Williams was in foul trouble. So if Jalen and J.D. stay out of foul trouble and Amude has his kind of game, I think you could beat perhaps LSU, without him. So, I mean, it's just going to, Toney you need to have him and your full arsenal for the NCAA tournament. You can win without him.
To me, one of the big things that has to happen in Tampa is that you've got to jumpstart Devo. You need him to I mean, you need all your guys. And he's somebody that that can play at a different level. He was making that little jumper from the corner, and he missed a couple in the last two games. It looks like maybe it's affected his confidence. Some guys, they got to have their stroke going for all the other things in their game to come together. Maybe that's the way it is for Devo.
I hope it happens. Now, there's a question I couldn't remember. I thought I'd seen Hogstats put this out. Y'all know the last time that Arkansas beat a team in 3 straight games in the same season and when that year was? Any guess?
Man, I don't know.
2001, and the team was LSU, who you're trying to do that against this Friday. And I say, we don't actually believe that Ole Miss or Missouri, and I know it's the SEC tournament, anything can happen. I would just be shell-shocked if LSU lost to either Ole Miss or Missouri on Thursday and didn't match up with the Razorbacks on Friday. So if the Tigers do indeed get by the Rebels or the other Tigers, they will play Arkansas. And it's been, and I don't know how many times they've actually played a team 3 times in a season, but that is what we're looking at right now, where Arkansas would have to beat LSU 3 times, which they haven't done in 20-some-odd years.
Well, I mean, this is my take on that, and I agree with you, Ty, but you could combine the top players for Missouri and Ole Miss and form one team, and they wouldn't beat LSU.
I don't see it either, man. I would be very, very surprised if that ended up happening.
But just to counter what you're saying, Arkansas had never beaten a number 1 team at home. Arkansas never played a number 1 team. I mean, Eric Musselman has a way of doing things that hadn't happened in a long time or never happened before. So, never's a big word with Eric Musselman.
And you got Will Wade coaching the LSU Tigers.
That's a good point as well. So that gives you a chance.
This should be a fun tournament, and I kind of like it how we think there's really 4, maybe 5 teams that could win the whole thing. I don't know if we've always thought that in recent years. It's been Kentucky and maybe 1, maybe 2 other teams, but this could be a really fun tournament. I don't have a lot of confidence in Arkansas winning it without Au'Diese Toney. I'm just going to be frankly honest. Now, I know they played a lot better in the second half against Tennessee, and they fought and they clawed and they almost got a victory in Thompson-Boling Arena, but like Clay just said, even though that Audice is not always, like when you look at the stat sheet, it doesn't blow you away. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. He is so instrumental on defense with his 6'6" frame, with his basket cutting, with his offensive rebounding. Those stats don't always show up in the box score, and without him, you just don't have that same person that backs him up in that situation.
Well, I think if you get something out of Devo, you can. But I don't have a lot of confidence that, you're going to do that. I mean, it's just he's up and down. I mean, it is sometimes you get the Devo of last March, and then sometimes you get the Devo of January. And, they need last March's Devo to step up right now. And that was we put him on the cover of our preseason magazine, the basketball preview, because we thought he was going to be their best player, right? Well, he's not even close to the best player. And, some games he disappears altogether, and they still win. But without Tony, that's a guy that you have to get minutes at the guard position. And you want to get good minutes, not anything else. But it's the SEC tournament doesn't mean a whole lot, but it is still great theater, great to watch. And I look forward to it this week. And it's, I suspect that they're going to have the best matchup of that, of those 4 games, right? I mean, wouldn't you think Arkansas LSU is the best of all those matchups?
On Friday. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
I don't think there's a question at all when you look at the opening couple of games on that. And some guys, you look over the years, when some guys are tasked and asked to take that next step in their game or become more of a scorer, more a facilitator, more whatever, they don't step up. But, for example, J.D. Note, he was asked to be not just the primary scorer, but the ball handler, the point guard, and we've seen him flourish at that role for the most time. And everyone struggles at a certain point. I know there's been some points where you look at JD's like, what are you doing? But for the most part, as an All-American, as an All-SEC guy, you've been really pleased with how he stepped up. On the other hand, Devo, who, Clay, you just said it, y'all thought he was going to be the best player. I think you weren't the only one, and your team over at Hogs Illustrated. I think a lot of people were under the assumption that Devontae Davis would be one, if not the second best player on this year's team, and it hasn't even been close. So to see him maybe get back into that March form last year, everyone remembers the shot he hit over Oral Roberts to help get them that victory. It also helps that he's kind of the 4th or 5th option. Well, guys, he's in that same role this year. When he's in the game, and for the most part, he's not that 2nd or 3rd guy. He's the 4th or 5th, so maybe he can get some better looks when there's not as much scouting done to him in scoring situations, which I think Audice Toney has really taken advantage of, just his basket cutting and his offensive rebound. He's not getting plays called for him. He's just getting buckets.
Wasn't he pretty good against Auburn? Didn't he just kind of hit a little spurt against Auburn late in that game? I mean,
Devo hit 2 threes in that game.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not talking about just that. Some key defensive rebounds, a pass here or there. I mean, it just seemed like he was in the middle of a lot of big plays down the stretch, and that's what you expect from him, that he's the best clutch player on the team. Well, he's not. He's just he when he shows up like that, it's almost like, oh yeah, that's the Devo we thought we might get. If they get him in this SEC tournament, that might be, again, I've said this already, that might be the best benefit of anything that can happen in Tampa.
All right, that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by Ashley Air. Get a free furnace when you purchase a qualifying new system right now from Ashley Air. No down payment, no interest for 72 months on qualifying systems, and you get the Ashley Air Quality Assurance Guarantee, their 12-year parts and labor warranty. It's a free furnace with a purchase of a new system right now from Ashley Air. Just go to ashley.air.com to schedule your appointment. That's ashley.air.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
We don't have time for this entire clip, but I know, Tommy, you were complaining about gas prices earlier, and for good reason. There was a really hysterical thought process from Shaquille O'Neal last night on Inside the NBA. Take a listen to what he said about gas.
Great education. Yeah, because I told him I didn't want to get a certain vehicle because of the amount of gas I would have to spend. Yeah. It cost like $80
to fill it up.
And he said, then you said,
When it gets to half, then you put $20, you bring it back to full.
But if I keep doing, I would have to stop more often and still spend 80.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Why?
You're complaining about when it gets to 0, you spend 80, right? When it gets to half, you put 20. Then when it get back to half, you put 20.
Yeah, but I'll keep stopping, putting 20 in, and it'll equal 80,
Kenny.
the same amount of gas. I'm driving the same amount of gas.
The average human stops once a week for gas, right? With you only work here twice. You would probably have to stop maybe once every 2 weeks. Don't even try it.
This is bordering
Nobody
on.
travel more than me.
So that's
bordering on what?
That's Shaq in the game's thoughts.
Well, he did get an LSU education, so I mean.
Yeah, you should listen to that clip in its entirety because it's one of the funniest that I've heard about gas this year for sure.
Yeah. I thought he was just going to say, I have my man do it for me.
Yeah.
No, I don't have to do that.
Hey, we're live in Tampa. It's brought to you by Crane Automotive, Crane Hyundai, Crane Kia, and Crane Volkswagen in Fayetteville. Also by WT Equipment in Springdale. You can see more and get more. Go to online to WTEquip.com. And by Twin Peaks and Rogers. Head over to TwinPeaksBracketChallenge.com. Get registered and learn more. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views. So Ty's done for the day. No work for you the rest of the day, right?
Absolutely not. I'm going to the beach, man. Just chilling the rest of the day. We'll be back tomorrow on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
Burton Pools and Spas has all the savings you need to make your summer a success. Doughboy Above Ground Pools in stock select package.